You're right, Danny. I am on fire. Look at me. Look at me go. Hi, guys. Put my headphones down. We're trying something a little different. How you guys doing? Hi, Curbs. Hi, Cat. Hi, Danny. Hi to the other 3 lurkers.
They're on delay.
Tuesday art. Watching the sunset with Blue. You heard him. We gotta watch the sunset together on Thursday.
The sunset.
I guess so. Don't know where, but
We'll figure it out.
welcome to unsweaty ears mode. Oh, because of no headphones? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, I'd love to know what that means.
Let me know if there's any echo. There shouldn't be. You might hear, because Blue wants to hear the music too.
I like music.
We're trying something different because I did end up buying speakers. I never bought speakers with this computer because I never needed them until now. I was content with my headphones. But I've been using them since I've been playing Oblivion for Blue and showing stuff off, and doesn't sound it just yet, but yeah, I've got a lot of audio going on at the moment, so I can't. Okay. All right. Well, if it's bothering anyone, just let us know. But today we're going to work on the last comic page I have to work on. I wanted it to be the last bit of comic work entirely, but I didn't end up finishing my second comic sketch page yet. But I don't have a due date on it, so I can finish it whenever this week. But this will be the last actual comic page that I will finish before I officially go on break. And Thursday is when the last page of the chapter goes up on the main site, and then it'll go up on all the mirrors on Monday. And then we have to wait for the summer while we catch up on the script.
I mean, you decided that you wanted to wait for the whole summer, but yeah, the script does need some more work.
Yeah, it's not very... It's...
We've got a good start on it.
Yeah, we have a good start. We have enough so that we were able to get the work that I have going, but we need to do more. We need to do a lot more writing on it.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Yeah. But for now, let's go ahead and swap over. That'd be art time. There we go.
Oh, hey, it's visible.
Yeah.
Love it when technology works.
I love it when I can set something up and I can just click one thing and then it's just there. And there's no headaches. There's no nothing. Oh, but I'm using the wrong PNG tuber. That's a user error problem.
User error. How dare you not be perfect?
How dare I? If it's not one thing, it's another. At least my phone is on silent. Congrats. Thank you. Thank you, Curbs.
That's what you think. Can't wait for it to just like start ringing in 5 minutes just to prove me wrong.
No! I'm double checking right now.
Alright.
Yeah, it's on vibrate.
That's not silent though.
Well,
so I was correct.
Damn it!
Just vibrate and fall off the desk.
I wouldn't put it past it, man.
It would be very funny.
Okay, so as you can tell, this last page we're working on for the summer actually introduces a new character that I've been talking about and hinting at.
Oh, goody.
That I love to bits and pieces.
Fun fact, I remember initially we were talking, and you could still put this in there, but I know that like the first thought was next to Groovy's last name to have like next to it,
yes,
in, like little parentheses.
Yes, that's part of their profile. Let me see if I can. No, okay. So I was making their stained glass window profile. I haven't finished it yet. That's where the is.
Oh, okay. It could be here too.
It could be.
I wouldn't mind, but you know, maybe not.
We'll see, because this is
not necessary by any stretch of the imagination.
This is like the big reveal,
big cool
where we see him.
Where we see Groovy being way too tall for anybody's business.
Yeah. Danny says, "Now that's a willow."
Yeah, Is that why you wanted them to be taller?
Well, yeah, because
Tree
they
vibes?
yeah, they eventually they essentially like because here. So here's the reference. Here's them before and after their ascension ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole point is that their body is stretched out to be tree-like. And that's why they got so very tall.
I mean, there are short trees, to be
There
fair.
are short trees.
That is absolutely a thing that happens. I guess Groovy should just count themselves lucky that they didn't end up rooted to the ground.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would have been way awkward.
But Jade's symbol is also a willow tree. Can you guys tell that I like willow trees? They're really cool, okay? They are so cool and I love them.
There are, I don't remember what the tree is called, but there is a type of tree that its whole network is like a mycelium network. So like they're all connected by their roots.
Oh.
Yeah, I know they're mountain trees, but I do not remember what kind, unfortunately, or even where they are, but I want to say somewhere in Asia. So.
Not at all. You have kept it a very subtle secret.
Curbs is on to you.
Wow. Alright, let's get started on this page. Oh,
What was that?
that was the
Sparkling
follower.
lights.
That was the follower thing. That
Welcome, whoever you are. I can't read
Surly,
that. It's too far away.
Surly-cued. Hello, I like your willow tree guy. Thank you. Thank you for the follow.
Curly cued.
Curly cued.
That's the word.
Oh, okay.
Curly-cued.
It's a fun play on word spelling of curly cute. That's great. That's great. Love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Groovy recently underwent a bit of a design change, actually.
A little bit, yeah. These weren't. I'm trying to think of like.
Just the face.
Yeah. Mainly in the face because I was worried about.
Nadia's got a thing about really disliking same face syndrome.
Yeah. And then I looked at the original sketch and I'm like, it's a little close to Nocturne.
And we've already had some weird connections being drawn with characters where there shouldn't be, so I understand why you looked at that and went, you know what, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just change this.
And no, this is not Merlot's dad. This is not Merlot's father.
Not even a little bit.
Not even close. They're very close to Lindlery, but that is because
Other reasons.
they are.
It's a different thing.
Yeah, they've known each other since they were kids.
Yeah.
So this chapter.
Danny's humming at us, so I see cogs.
No, well.
Cogs spinning. I mean, it's Danny, so it's probably just a bad joke. But
Blue's got your number. Can you hear Blue okay, by the way? Is the sound all good? Curly Q is the original word based off meaning the sprite. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're answering Kirby.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, because of reasons. I'm inclined to think that those reasons are bad joke related until disproven. So.
Oh, she's a little quiet compared to me?
Quiet, that tracks. I talk quieter.
Yeah. I'm very loud. and I know this, and people remind me of it all the time. Let's see here.
Am I quiet in a way that makes me difficult to hear, or do I need to speak up?
I moved the mic a little closer. Maybe a little, maybe okay, yeah,
a little?
maybe speak up a
Okay,
little, yeah.
I will do my best.
Okay.
Definitely let me know if I am inaudible.
Very comparable to last year's Blue streams. I don't think it's a massive issue, but the comparison is quite noticeable.
So maybe you just need to be slightly quieter then.
Oh, that's hard. I will try. I also go by Curly. I'm another member of Spider Forest. Oh, right.
Oh, right. Hi, Curly.
Right. Yeah,
I recognize your name.
I did advertise this
those-
stream in the Spider Forest server, so that does make sense.
Oh, that I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention.
I don't do it all the time because most of my streams aren't comic related, but I figure, you know, since we're both here and we're both going to talk about the comic.
This is true.
Yeah.
Speaking of the comic, we figured we'd kind of open this stream up as a bit of a Q&A for comic related stuff. So, I mean, we'll jabber, but if you guys have specific questions or things you just kind of want to talk about as pertains to the comic, let us know. Absolutely. That's kind of what this time is here for. Keep in mind, we are going to be... We're not going to give away too much. We don't want to talk about, like, major spoilery stuff, but that doesn't mean everything's off the table. Like, if you have a question, let us know, and we'll let you know whether or not that's something we'll talk about.
Right.
Yeah. So, when in doubt, ask. You may be surprised.
Drawing your silly fellows while I'm drawing my silly fellows. Hell yeah. I love that. I love when people tell me that they're drawing alongside me. Let's see. I found you off a Blue Sky post. Oh! If you hold a pillow over Nutty's face, then it solves the audio differences. Wow. By the way, line art is looking nice and crisp today. Thank you very much.
Nutty's line art always looks nice and crisp.
It's much more crisp than it used to be, I can tell you that much.
Never would have noticed.
I think a combination of drawing webcomics and doing a lot of sketch work for coffees has really made my
You have been doing a lot of sketch work for coffees lately.
Yeah. So it's getting me a lot more confident in laying line art down.
Just put the line down. I'm not crisp at all. I use pencil and paper, and I'm like, what if I just use 500 million lines, and then, you know, having one solid one doesn't matter. And then I don't ink it over either, so I'm just a mess.
I still really like that entry you did for the Draw This in Your Style.
I didn't even color it.
I still liked it.
Would have been better if I'd been able to lay color down, but like, I don't know.
It had good ideas with the drippy circle looking like syrup. I loved that.
That was fun.
I would prefer if we keep the topic on the comic today, actually, Danny. Good art doesn't need to have everything. Sometimes all it needs is the heart and care. Yeah, exactly.
Or last minute panic. I'm really good at that.
Yeah, I'm glad
this isn't related to the comic at all.
No.
I do love it.
I'm glad I'm glad it's on Spotify, so I can start picking some of the tracks to use for songs of the page. I keep forgetting. Which I can't pick until we do more of the script.
Oh, you know we're gonna have to use Zephyr.
Yes. Oh God.
It's not Zephyr Highlands, is it? Like
no, it's just called Zephyr.
It's just Zephyr?
Mm-hmm. That's the name of the world.
Is that no, but is that the name of the track? Because I swear the name of the track is something different.
He might have added something.
I think it's like Zephyr something.
Probably because some of his songs have code, have like a code name in it. Like one of them songs his name is Tiger or something.
Yeah, I think it's Zephyr something else. Like I'm pretty sure. Somebody with more access to technology than me in this moment should check that out. but we should absolutely use that one for an upcoming character.
Yeah. Maybe for one of the wide shots of Dermista.
No.
No?
No, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, for... Okay.
That took you so
Yes,
long.
it did. It did.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's in the playlist already.
Curb says I think he thinks it's called Zephyr Seeds.
Well, that doesn't sound quite right.
That does, though, because of the seeds side quest. Planting the beanstalk
Well, no, I know
seeds.
that, but I don't think that's the name of the track. Can you open up Spotify?
I'm going to do it on my phone so my computer doesn't freak out.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair. That's absolutely a mission, Curbs, yeah. So just open up Spotify and then look up...
Yeah, look up Stuart Copeland real quick.
Yep. Just look up Spyro. It'll get you to the same thing. Just hold, please. We're having a moment.
Spyro. Oh, this is par for the course for my art streams. Are you kidding me?
I don't think I
Zephyr Meadow.
Zephyr.
That's what it is.
I was correct.
You were correct,
I was
but
halfway correct. I
But
just couldn't
in
remember what
game,
the second
it's
one was.
just called.
Oh yeah,
Zephyr.
no. In game, it's just Zephyr because that's the portal. But then it takes you to like the best war between worm cowboys and no, it's worms and
They're
redneck birds.
They're supposed to be worms and maggots, and I know that because in the reignited trilogy, their armor is made out of pieces of trash. So they're always been worms coming out of them.
They're also worms because birds eat worms.
Right.
And this is like the other side of the very stupid war that's in the harbor. Which again, I think is a two. I think that one is actually like a two-word place, but I can't.
Breeze Harbor.
Breeze Harbor, thank you.
I'm trying to figure out if I need. Well, I mean, they're very much in front of Groovy, so I should probably have Groovy on the mid ground.
Yes.
So, flats time. So Groovy's gonna be fun to draw because
Groovy is so tall. It's going to really mess with your composition.
A little bit, yeah. But also, they're very at peace with themselves. They have a much more innate connection to because they're a cleric like the other clerics. But there's a special
bond,
a special ascension ceremony, which is why they look so different.
Yeah, the Dermistan elves, going back to like about 2,000 years ago, they have this history that at some point along the way they decided that they needed to have a very strong connection with Jade and with the forest, and that's what led them to this ceremony, and that's now fully ingrained into their culture.
Yeah.
So groovy is what some may call a big deal.
They're the spiritually that's what their title over here says.
Spiritual leader of Dermista. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ascension ceremony does mean that like they physically can't leave the Emerald Tree Sea. They can leave Dermista proper, but they can't leave.
They're bound to.
They're bound to the land in a very real sense. They are bound, and they can't leave the confines of the forest. So it is a trade-off. It isn't something you undertake lightly. It isn't something anyone could undertake either. I mean, we've talked about clerics before. Yeah. In the comic, we've gone over what they are. And so this isn't a political position. I mean, it kind of is. It is a political position, but it's not just a political position. Yeah. It's not one that just anyone can take. Like Jade has to approve. Jade has to choose. Yep. So it's interesting. Dermista's a neat place. Dermista is fun, and I have here. I'm going to show the sketch because I have a lot of inspiration from. I've gathered a lot of research material for what a By research material, you mean the background of Donkey Kong levels.
Not just Donkey Kong. Lord of the Rings too. So this being spiritually the forest means you're geo-locked the area. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very geo-locked. Yep. Yeah, because of that connection to Jade and how that connects them to the forest. That wasn't always the case. The cleric of Jade was not always, geo-locked, but after the Ascension ceremony, that was a shift that Dermista decided to make.
Yeah.
So,
And the forest is very big, so it's not like they feel trapped or anything.
Oh yeah, but it is a choice that has to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And the thing with Groovy is that, like, it's expected to, like, feel, like, overwhelming to feel the forest, to like, always be in tune with the forest. So it would feel overwhelming, but to, like, the way I like to describe it, it's like putting on a nice, fluffy, warm coat. It's like you're enveloped in it, but you're, like, it's a comforting presence.
I got a better one for you. How many of you guys know Star Wars? Think of Jedi and the Force. That's more like, without all of the, like, emotional ramifications and stuff, that it's so there Yoda. Constantly. So very Yoda.
Yeah.
Very Yoda. In a lot of ways.
Also interesting, you draw and color characters one at a time. I generally do line up for everything. Yeah, that's just how I work. I don't work panel by panel. Well, I do work panel by panel because I'm going to finish this panel before I finish this bottom one. But I work very much in foreground, midground, background. That's just how my pipeline is. I know that's weird for a comic, but...
What's up, Danny? Danny's raising his hand.
Oh, very polite. Thank you. Blue, did you bring up the Star Wars analogy because you are playing the Star Wars game very much right now?
It's fully locked in my brain. But it's also an accurate analogy, so I refuse to apologize for it.
Fair.
The other analogy I could make is the monks, the air nomad monks from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not Aang, but the older ones.
Right.
So that could work.
He's right. You know Star Wars. Okay.
Gotcha.
Not necessarily weird, just a unique way of structuring things. Also, I don't do one panel at a time. Ah, I see. Yeah, traditionally... Oh, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. She's crocheting at the same time.
I almost lost my blankie.
Oh, no.
I got it back. It's fine.
But yeah, no, traditionally most... I know that most comic pages are line art, like straight line art.
Eric. So, yeah, that's what we have to say about that.
But what I was getting to was that with Groovy, because they're very calm and very kind of extremely like collected to the extreme, where a pool of serenity. They're a very serene person. So the changes in their facial expressions are going to be very slight and very, very subtle. So that's going to be a fun challenge for me artistically, playing with their facial expressions.
Very subtle, especially given that you like to be very over the top with your facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
Which, is not a bad thing.
No. That's just how I work.
Yeah,
but
it's just a big departure for this particular character, because if you do big expressions on Groovy, it's going to look wrong.
Yeah. In a way, I've had to do that with Nocturne, because Nocturne is also a very subdued.
Nocturne's very subdued. Got a couple of other characters. The Dream Visitor doesn't do a lot with big facial expressions either. That's a very subtle character.
Yes. Well, most of their facial expressions have been panic.
Panic and
like, oh no, I shouldn't be here.
Shouldn't be here.
Oops.
But even so, panic looks very different on them than it does on, say, Merlot, where panic on Merlot is huge and over the top and in every single line, and panic in the Dream Visitor is just like, and very small.
Yeah.
Still the same emotion, but much smaller.
It's a test. You got to test both ends of the spectrum. Little expression change to all expression change. Exactly.
Yeah.
On one end is Groovy, on the other is Felix.
You know, this is true. These
I
are the
push
two ends of the spectrum.
I push Felix's expressions to the fullest extreme that I can.
That's why Felix is a meme. Also, most of Felix's over-the-top expressions have been just the frustration and anger ones, so like the big yelly ones.
Uh-huh. Which makes, when they actually have emotional reactions to things, like especially doing the expressions for when they were breaking down after realizing they're just been alongside nobles this entire time, or noble adjacent folks.
Yep.
Like that was so that made actually emotional expressions that much more powerful.
Because again, with Felix, it's actually the more emotional they are, like genuinely emotional, the smaller their emotional expression is.
Yeah.
So it is still big and over the top, but in comparison to like the almost cartoonish exasperation, almost overplayed exasperation, like it feels a lot realer, and so it hits a lot harder.
Exactly. I'll hear you ramble about characters makes me want to ramble about my silly fellows. Aww.
You should. Probably not right now because it would be off topic for what the focus of this stream is, but you should absolutely ramble about your characters.
We have a channel for that in the Discord.
Yeah.
The School of Design.
Would probably fit in School of Pros too.
That too. We're a little loose with that.
It's less that Felix is exaggerating and more when it's important, it's more subdued.
Yeah.
Because it means more. If it doesn't mean as much, you can kind of go off. You can go off and be ridiculous if it really doesn't
turn their
mean
face
as much.
red.
Turn their face red and like stretch their mouth to like impossible proportions. But when it's serious, this is actually a really important thing when it comes to writing in general. I had this conversation fairly recently, as a matter of fact, where melodrama it's melodramatic because it is big and it's over the top. So it's everything kind of pushed to the max or even past it with melodrama. So like you have those big, huge screaming fits, and it's your soap opera. It's your soap opera, your melodramatic soap operas. But those never hit as hard as taking it back a notch. I was helping, like you'll see this is a relatively big expression, but if you actually look at Felix here, this is very subdued in comparison to like most of their normal frustrated nonsense. But this wouldn't hit anywhere near as hard if it were that big. You have to take it down in order for the emotional impact to actually be felt, because quite frankly that's how people are. So smaller emotions hit harder.
Exactly.
So that's a pro tip for if you're trying to write anything with big emotion. Like absolutely, if the emotion can be big, but if you want it to hit hard, you're gonna have to, whatever your brain goes to, like, oh, this is how they'd react with this big scream fit, take it down a few notches and then try again, and it will hit better and harder. In fact, we did that with this, and I know we've got another scene at some point with Felix coming up where you wanted it to be very big and over the top. This is forever from now, so we're not going to get into detail. But there's a scene upcoming where Felix was going to have like a really massive reaction. I was like, that's not going to hit as hard as you want it to. We got to take it down a little bit. And we took it down, we have an outline, and so we took it down in the outline and then kind of looked at it and went, yeah, that's gonna read better.
Oh, way better.
It's gonna read a lot better.
This is why Blue is my co-writer, because if you've read a lot of my stuff, I can get a little melodramatic. I'll admit that's just how I write sometimes.
Yeah, and the sad fact of the matter is melodrama never actually hits as hard as taking it down a notch does.
Yeah.
Melodrama is great for what it does, but honestly, melodrama is mostly great for comedy. It really is. And if you're watching like a dramatic melodrama, again, you're mostly watching it for the comedic value of it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be funny, but in a wow, oh my god kind of way. Like, you're not taking a melodrama seriously.
Right.
Nobody takes a melodrama seriously. And you want to be able to take these really emotional moments with your characters. 9 times out of 10, most writers want that to be taken very seriously. Mm-hmm. And the instinct is going to be, well, make it big and huge because this matters. No. Take it down a notch and it'll hit way
harder. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It subtlety. Subtlety is not easy.
It is not easy, but it works.
But it hits
so well.
So good when you can pull it off.
Yeah.
Look at this handsome fella. Look at this handsome man. Not man. I keep trying to say man or boy, but no.
I mean,
this handsome NB. There you go. There we go. Individual. There we go. Wordsmith over here helping me out. I'm sure there's going to be a point where Felix balls their eyes out and it's going to be such a massive facial expression. It's going to be like it'll have the subtleties, but it's going to be good and ugly. It's going to be an ugly cry.
Yeah.
It's going to be very snotty and gross.
Felix getting an ugly cry will be good.
Yeah.
I kind of hate it when fiction is like, oh, and they cried beautifully. And I'm like,
no.
Who? Where? When? Please tell me. Everyone looks like crap when they cry.
Everyone looks and feels like crap. Like, after I cry, like, I'm freaking, my sinuses are on fire.
The face goes red, you've got snot coming down your nose.
And if you have glasses, you've got
your blood just fog up.
Shonen anime is the most accurate representation.
This is true. Absolutely true. No, it's true. Like, you can look at shoujo anime, it's just like the perfect singular tears. It's like, no, stop. Not for emotional crying. It's not how the face is getting red. It's all, yeah. Shonen anime is like, we're gonna take this as the ugliest criers, and you're like, yep, I know people like that.
One Piece, Naruto.
I remember Naruto, but I never watched One Piece.
One Piece has just the best facial expression in general.
That is fair. It's over 1,000 episodes. I can't.
That's also fair.
I think a good way, if you feel overwhelmed with
ground level.
Yeah. If you've been around forever, like Bri, or some people just take them in arcs. Like, as they go.
I have been reading One Piece. It wasn't my first anime. I think my first was Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, that's like everybody's first.
That's because it's the best.
Yeah, it's the best one. There's no discussion there. It's the best anime.
But you can't. Brotherhood specifically.
Brotherhood specifically. I've never seen the other one, but I know that it.
I watched a lot of
We'll talk about it later.
The original.
I have thoughts. We'll discuss later.
Steven Universe crying is also really good too. Yeah. That's so true.
SU does it real well.
Well, that's because Steven Universe is very inspired by anime.
Yes.
Yeah. The art style's very different than Japanese animation, though.
Sure.
Like that.
No, but there's a lot of influence.
Yes.
The artists themselves mention various animes that they took inspiration from.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Now Ghibli crying is more pretty, but the tears are like big and globs.
Gloppy. Yeah. Ghibli crying is not
between the pretty shoujo.
Yeah.
And the ugly crying.
It's kind of ugly. Honestly, like you say, it's pretty, but it's kind of ugly because nothing about it is clean.
Yeah.
It's not clean. I think that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Shonen anime, often male-dominated, allows for characters to have non-pretty expressions, unlike a lot of shoujo. Yes, yeah, that's actually true.
This is fair.
That is totally true.
Can't blame you for that.
First anime was OG Pokemon. Yep. There we go. Yeah.
OG Pokemon doesn't really have a lot of people crying in it, I don't think. I'm just trying to remember old episodes
because their tears revive each other.
Their tears revive Ash catch him. That's how it goes. Anyway, moving on. Good
Did
movie.
I see that one in
Good movie.
theaters? I don't remember if I did or
I
not.
did not, but it was referenced in Detective Pikachu, and I about died in the best possible way.
Hell yeah.
Good movie.
Good,
Anyway.
great movie.
Anyway.
You have a
hands.
question, Ray?
Draw hands.
Hands are tricky.
Hands are hard. It's like what
And-
do you mean
and
there's
they're-
five
and they're-
little appendages at the end of like
And their
basically a
fingers
square.
are very long, elongated. So
Groovy's proportions are just all out of whack, but intentionally so.
I understand the pretty crying. It's meant to hit certain emotions. The ugly crying hits other emotions. It's a balance. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. If you're telling a pretty story and like, if you're telling like a shoujo anime style story, that does make sense.
Oh yeah, it all kind of comes down to art style.
Yeah.
It is.
I
However,
am not. In case you haven't noticed, I am not shoujo.
No, but it is kind of fun to like pick on it because we know what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
If we didn't know what it was trying to do, then it would be like, well, don't talk about it then. But we know what it's trying to do. We're just being a little silly.
Yeah. Remember Nutty saying Merlot being drawn more is part of why the comic came to be, but what other inspirations were part of the comic?
I can't be part of this one. This one's all you.
Yeah, but Blue came in later when I asked her about plot holes, and yeah, and then she just,
That's what happened.
yep, pretty
You're like,
much.
can you help me with this? And I was like, I mean, I guess. And then I took over.
Other inspirations include, I mean,
Dungeons and Dragons
in
in general.
Of course, yes, Dungeons and Dragons was a big start of it, and then I realized, oh, I don't have to behold myself to the Wizards of the Coast lore and law, and I started making my own. But yes, a lot of the structuring, like especially as also the story structure is inspired by D&D too, because every part of the story is character driven. It's driven by character decisions. Like the Goblin Cave would not have happened if Sven hadn't decided to try and race them.
Raise the stupid goblins.
Yeah.
I love how you say that that's D&D inspired because that just says so much about the D&D group you were in. Because that is not the case for all D&D groups by a
No.
long shot. A lot of them are in fact just, hey, we're going to get through the module.
Yeah.
And there's very little character driven. It's, you're going to get here whether you like it or not.
I'm thinking about I think about stuff like the balance arc of the Adventure Zone.
Oh, yeah.
Where like an entire arc was scrapped because of a split decision that they made at the end of the Suffering arc, and
Yep.
Griffin was like, you know what?
This isn't going to
Yeah,
work.
all right.
Won't do it.
Let's do it. Let's go with this. Oh, I think my music paused. Yep. Yes. Continue watching. Thank you.
Alpine Ridge.
I agree, real life isn't pretty, and I love shoujo crying because it's full of a breakdown of a character who doesn't cry yet merits to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a genre thing.
It's a genre
It's
thing,
a genre
exactly.
thing, it's an art style thing. It's a story moment thing. It's a character thing.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of different reasons to draw pretty crying versus ugly crying. Again, we're just kind of poking a bit of fun at shoujo with all the love and respect in the world.
Yes.
Intended.
Other so D&D was a big inspiration. I also took I mean, I don't like saying Lord of the Rings because I feel like everybody pulls from Lord of the Rings.
Well, it's very influential.
and
so.
it's very influential, but it's like,
So you absolutely took inspiration from Lord of the Rings. Is what
yes. And I also took a lot of inspo from Elder Scrolls, especially Elder Scrolls Online, which drops so much freaking lore. Like, you play that game and like you can't go back to Skyrim because it's like Skyrim's like, oh, it's just
Shallow and straight.
it's just one piece of a really big, like, even in Oblivion it feels more than Skyrim because you're in a area where all the cultures are, not just the Nords. So it feels way more alive of an area rather than just one piece of Tamriel. But yeah, no,
We'll talk about that later, Kirby. Put a pin in that.
what?
No, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
We're putting a pin in it. We'll get back to it. In a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah. But yeah, like Elder Scrolls was a big influence with like, you know, when I started Court of Roses, I didn't have all the races that are being represented. Like, I didn't have a cat or dog race or lizard race, and I was like, wait, why not? Why not? Bethesda can do it. Why can't I? And the Infernals actually wasn't the initial. I think I called them Tieflings at the beginning, and then I think it was my friend Moon who said you probably want to call them something else that's not copyrighted by Wizards of the Coast. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And I landed on Infernals because I liked the way that sounded.
Does sound good.
And it implies something about where they might be coming from, even though. We know where they came from.
It's derogatory.
Yeah. We know where they came from, but people in universe
stork.
don't know yet.
Come from the stork.
Yes. The stork that leaves babies on doorsteps.
If anyone has like guesses as to where the Infernals come from, that is not information that we've revealed yet in the comic.
But we will. There are plans to reveal it.
Oh yeah, you could say that. You could say that. All right. So Kirby, back to your. Are you done with your
Inspirations?
inspirations?
Pretty much. I mean, those were the main. There's obviously bits and pieces of other fantasy, but those were like the main.
Would you say?
ElfQuest, yes. A lot of costuming design. I was inspired by ElfQuest. You'll see. Do I have a line up of the winter set? I think I do.
Oh yes, you do. You did that like 3 years ago.
I did it for the interlude. The whole fur trim and all of the fur in this was definitely inspired by a race of elves in ElfQuest who lived in a tundra area. So
I really like Sven's whole winter coat, especially with like a little wave design on it. I think that's my favorite design out of this.
Yeah,
bunch.
and then Felix has the fire in theirs.
Yeah, but it looks so much better on Sven. It's like, it's a bit Santa inspired too, and I like that.
I think
Sven
Sven
would
has
make a
like
good
the
Santa.
least serious. Most of the time, he has the least serious costume designs.
And it's fantastic.
The stork that is surrounded by fire and skulls with a leather jacket delivers infernals to people's doors.
I wasn't gonna flame you for it, Kirby. I was just gonna get a bit more in depth. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you done with your
Yes,
inspirations? Okay.
yes.
We'll get back to your comic page, and I'm gonna go to what Kirby was saying about Lord of the Rings being pretty much what fantasy is. Lord of the Rings changed the outlook of what fantasy was in like a public sphere. So before Lord of the Rings, we really didn't have high fantasy.
Yeah.
The closest we got, we had mythology and we had fairy tales.
Yep.
And some folklore, but on that, I wouldn't classify that as fantasy. But as far as storytelling goes, that's kind of like the closest thing that we had. Lord of the Rings decided was a massive, it was a world building project.
Yeah.
J.R.R. Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings because he wanted to build a world. Like, literally, that's it. That's where it
started
comes from.
with because he was a linguist.
He's a linguist, and he wanted to create his own world. That was it. That was all he wanted to do. And then he kind of wrote a story so that he could continue world building.
Yeah.
Which, love that for him. Good to know he was able to follow his dreams and be an absolutely terrible professor in the process. So what Lord of the Rings did was it told people, okay, this is what fantasy can be. So it set a new standard.
Yeah.
Which is why after that you got a whole bunch of Lord of the Ring-alikes, most of which are much worse.
Yeah.
Or if
they
don't,
don't
at least are very derivative.
They don't take his whole thing is that it's because of the world he built and why the story is why the world is so strong is because that's what his focus was. Whereas the lookalikes were like, oh, we just want we want the sparkle without the substance.
Yeah. In a lot of sense. Are his knees off?
They totally are.
That felt weird. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not paying attention. I'm so sorry.
All right.
Thank you
Yeah.
for pointing that out.
There
I
we
would
go.
have kept going.
Needs have been solved. We're good. Okay, so what has happened since then is, as far as Lord of the Rings being what fantasy is perceived now, it has become where Lord of the Rings is not actually what fantasy is perceived as. Fantasy is moving on from that. We're getting a lot more interesting takes on fantasy now. We're not kind of stuck in that mire that Lord of the Rings kind of created just by virtue of being a massive cultural zeitgeist. We've been able to expand outward by a lot. So it's really,
it's
really
been the
interesting.
standard for a really long time, and that's why
It's no longer the standard.
That's why I was hesitant to label it as one of my influence, because it feels like it's the easy influence. You know what I mean?
But it's okay.
But
everyone's allowed to have that as an influence.
Yeah, it's okay, but like I want to stress that like it's not Lord of the Rings just because Lord of the Rings is a standard. I want to I wanted to transcend those standards and be like,
but it can still be like a starting point or something that inspires you to go and do
exactly,
something else.
yeah.
And that's really what Lord of the Rings did, was it inspired a whole bunch of other people to go, oh, I can do something like this. And now, we've kind of gotten past that a little bit, but fantasy is still beyond what it was when Tolkien decided to do Lord of the Rings in the first place.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense whatsoever. But that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
As far as fantasy goes in the public perception right now.
I also feel the same way about D&D. Actually, I've had friends tell me that they're like, I was hesitant to read your comic because it was quote unquote just another D&D comic.
We've seen a lot of that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the, because they're very common. They are. I've seen a lot of them where I think what it is like a lot of people get really excited that they had a really good D&D game, and they're like, we're gonna turn it into a comic. But those are two different mediums, and if you
you have to put in a lot of work to make sure that everyone else understands what's going on in your story.
and that everybody cares about
And
your
everybody
characters as
cares
much as you do.
Yes. And that's just, honestly, that's just standard storytelling technique.
Yeah.
And people making baby's first webcomic for, the first time because they can, which, again, not a problem.
It's very good that
everybody starts somewhere, and that's okay. And everybody has to learn how to do the thing. But it is a skill.
Yeah.
And people just starting out generally don't have that skill, especially if they haven't done any storytelling before. So they're basing their webcomic off of their campaign, but their campaign, that was like their first real foray into storytelling at all. So they have no idea of the skills necessary to take that story and make it something that everyone else can understand.
Yeah.
And enjoy.
I'm gonna open. Oh, I already have it open.
Yes, Kirby, exactly. Yeah,
an
our,
RPG
our definition of fantasy has expanded tremendously since Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But Lord of the Rings was the push that kind of catapulted us into going,
It's
fantasy can be more than a fairy tale. We can do something with this.
It's like when I say that, like, the Beatles aren't my favorite music group, but I can't deny the cultural impact they had on music as a whole.
Exactly.
It's the same concept. Double check what flowers I put in this.
Or they could just change from
They could
panel to
just-
panel, and no one will notice or care.
Only I care.
I mean, they're also Jade's clerics, so think about it. The flowers could very well be changing before our eyes.
Drawing flowers is
Like,
just
no, I
fun.
have to make it perfect. And I'm the fucking little red demon on your shoulder. No, you don't.
And I can fill some empty spots with just leaves.
Because why not?
Because I have to. Because that's how I designed them.
I mean, you don't. This is optional, but
You could just
It's
pretend
more
that the
visual.
flowers bloom and wither and new ones bloom at rapid speed. Yeah, exactly.
that's basically what I said. You just said it nicer. But yeah, that's fantasy. If we could, yep, circle of something.
Circle of life. Sorry. I'm sorry. Blue immediately gave me a look and I felt horrible.
Yeah, that's fantasy in general. So if we could wrap it back around a little bit, that'd be great.
Wrap it back to what?
The comic itself.
Oh.
It was a good tangent, though. I appreciate that
Yes.
tangent. Marginally relevant.
But yeah, I do get, what I tell people who get into a creative rut is, I hate saying it this way, but like, just go consume more content. By which I mean, go read a book, go watch your TV show, go play a video game.
No, it really helps. Also, if you're in a creative rut, take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
Take a moment to, I mean, look, we all know of the image of the overworked, overstressed, usually highly depressed creative, just like scribbling away. But like, really, people don't work like that.
Nope.
People
are not designed to work like that.
People are not designed to work like that. I am finally on a vacation, and I was finally able to write something like concrete for the first time in like a month and a half.
Yeah.
So I'm
really happy that we
to breathe.
I'm really happy that you being here can facilitate that. That
Yes.
makes me so happy.
It's very nice. Granted, it was not anything I should have been working on, but that's not the point.
No, the fact that you're writing at all.
That thing that I love to do, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's why I decided to make this break an entire summer, so I can have a
You can have a chance
to do the reset, and to also give myself a break while I'm doing art fight and just having fun with that.
Oh yeah, art fight.
Mm-hmm.
I keep forgetting that's a thing.
I've been doing a lot of bookmarking this week. I have to do it. I'm kind of shocked that they're releasing the theme so late in the month. I was expecting it to be this week.
What's the theme?
We don't know yet.
Oh, you don't know
They're
yet.
not gonna. They're not gonna. They usually reveal it mid-June, but they're not revealing it till the 22nd this year.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Keeps you on your toes. Anyway,
Guess
the
so.
comic, that thing that you are.
Yes, my
working on.
comic. Which, by the way, the main 6 characters are gonna be on Art Fight if you want to draw them for Art Fight. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, I know. Been way too prepared, but it's finally paying off. Yeah.
I just went into like a loading screen in my head while I was trying to count out which characters you were talking about, but I got there.
It's weird to say the main 6 because then I think of My Little Pony. Oops.
That's not a connection I would have drawn ever in my life, but alright.
I actually did watch that series for a
watched
bit.
none of it.
It was very cute. It was very adorable, and I liked some of the lessons that they gave. And also, Weird Al was in an episode.
Hi, Matthew. We're having a lovely day.
Hi!
Glad you're enjoying the art. I enjoy the art too.
Yeah. What? Are you guys sure?
Yes.
Okay, if you say so.
You need to stop stealing my lines. Like, that's my response. Come on. It's a program.
I love this person, and I designed them with too much detail.
You
but
did.
That
You
is
really-
my. But that is my fault.
Your own hubris.
That's the perils with comicking is that you have to realize I'll have
You could just have like colored dots, and then it'd be like confetti.
like
so
we
much
look
easier.
at like we look
Change
at
the art style for
like we
a
look
day.
at these. Some of these, a lot of these details like get completely lost when you, especially with Felix here, when you have to
Yes.
draw this panel by panel. There's no fucking way. There's no way I'm gonna include every single detail of this of this Polish-inspired outfit.
What you do is, it is a very good outfit though, but what you do is like, here's the actual design, and then what you draw is just, stick figure with like a scribbled shirt on. Perfect. Go out into the world, my child.
Practically. I mean, you get, let's see, do I have a far shot here?
Great in the worst way possible. Would you agree with that?
Over-designing character design for the first design is so great in the way. I would agree, like you get the design, like you get the details out of your system, and then when you start going into practice, you're like, okay,
there's no
if
way
it's
I can
farther, if they're far enough away, I don't have to worry about these details.
And this can just be a line of color.
This can be, this can be just a line of color. Like half the time, Felix's like jewelry doesn't even show up. Because, like, if they're far enough away, like, who's gonna care whether their jewelry is visible?
If they're far enough away, too many details are gonna get to be, like, muddy.
Muddy, yeah.
And then they're not really gonna look like themselves anymore.
I'm getting to the point where, like, when they're far away, like in this panel here, like, they're just color. They're just a flat color.
Yep.
You don't need to. Obviously, I did the for full color for this panel because it's more of a wide shot. But with this itty bitty shot of them being too far away enough, then the colors don't matter.
The only thing that matters is that we recognize who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. A lot of times in comics, my understanding is that you're just trying to get across an idea.
Readability is more important than the details.
Yes.
Especially when you're reading a comic. Most people are only going to look at a panel for a grand total of maybe 10 seconds.
Unless you're obsessing over, like, specific details.
Unless it's a panel like this, where we're establishing not only a character, but the environment behind them. So we're going to have... that's why I'm keeping details in this panel in particular, because this is a reveal panel.
It's
and
important.
The details matter.
It's important. This is your setup.
Yeah. This panel here... With obviously the shading is turned off so I can grab their colors, but this is probably the most detailed shot of Elsia I'm gonna have because it was their reveal shot.
Yes, and Elsia is not, spoilers, Elsia is not a super important character. This is a very, very minor character.
This is a very minor, very self-indulgent character.
Yes.
I wonder.
Yeah, G. Wilkers.
Oh yeah, Nutty was like, "Can I do this?" And I'm like, "Well, technically speaking, it is your comic." So.
Can I do this? Ask the creator of the web.
Can you do this? Yes. If it takes over the story, I will probably have to come to your house with a pitchfork. We have other plans.
They're Groovy's cute little protector, and I love them.
Yes, and they cannot take up too much screen time. We have so much else we have to do.
We have a lot to do. Yes. But they're like Groovy's like little half shadow. They're always going to be around Groovy. So I get to indulge in drawing them more. But with Sauce and Groovy.
Do not expect main character status.
No.
Is what I'm saying.
No. Groovy. So the name
G-R-U-V-I.
Yeah. The name actually was, let me see if I can find it.
D&D characters in it. No,
yes.
Focus on your art. Just talk about it.
Alright, okay. Originally they were called, here, I'll type their name in. They were Groovy Tall guy. they were a Fearbulg that I originally designed for a game.
Another one of the oldie Dungeons and Dragons characters.
Yeah, that for a game that never happened, essentially.
Yeah, we got to like the first area and then it just kind of fell off.
Disintegration.
I think it might have been around the time one of the players kind of disengaged from the player group.
Yeah.
Disintegration of D&D games is a long, old-standing tradition. So,
I remember the exact campaign. It was Ghost of Saltmarsh.
Oh.
Interesting.
I was playing I think at that point it was a halfling wizard.
That sounds about right.
Who was very grumpy and her name was Mira Jin, I think. Yes.
Mira,
she was
really?
she was a weed halfling.
Oh my
She was a weed wizard.
The
Nerd.
origins of Mira have been revealed.
Yeah, Blue knows Mira from
I know
different
Mira
thing
for
where
something
she's
else.
become a fairy, and I like her as a fairy much better.
Probably fits better. Yeah.
Just go off the rails one day. Just add something really dumb funny and not say anything and just wait to see how long it takes. No.
I'm pretty sure that's already happened.
Has it?
I'm pretty sure. You've added some weird stuff.
Trying to think in recent memory.
I'm pretty sure. Like, maybe not like in terms of things, but I'm pretty sure there was like stupid little character moments. That's what I consider to be dumb funny. Like, what if a character's just doing something really dumb in the background? Just like, bet.
Oh, you know what? The fucking crown drawing. The crown
drawing?
cult drawing.
The crayon cult drawing.
And I showed it to you and you were like, oh my god.
Thing of beauty. I like how it implies that this is how Marana draws things. Oh no, the crayon cult, the cult drawing.
Yeah, the cult
You've
drawing.
Used the crayons. You've used the crayons twice.
Yeah,
me and Dermahar, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, so good. Yep.
Well,
that's about as dumb funny as we get here because we are kind of trying to focus on telling a good story.
We're trying to focus on telling a story, but like at the same time, this comic is still like its genre is still in the comedy drama, in the comedy genre. So like even during serious moments, you know, you have to have that balance. Like when frickin' Merlot is sobbing in Nocturne's lap about this nightmare he just had, and Nocturne is comforting him, and then he goes, you know, Sven will definitely be willing to punch a demon, you know. Sven will be there.
Sven will punch a demon in the face, and we all are like, yep, that tracks. And now we have narratively given you a promise. So if Sven doesn't try to punch a demon in the face, there will be hell to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
Pun absolutely intended.
But, just, what is that? Levity? No, Levity. Just a moment to like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does not, now, levity does not make a story a comedy.
No.
I would in fact argue that this story has become very much not a comedy. I don't think this story is a comedy at all. I do think it's got a lot of comedic value to it. I would not consider this to be a comedy.
Maybe it's evolved over time.
I think so.
I mean, but then you look at The Masquerade.
The Masquerade was very funny, but we haven't gotten to the more serious moments yet.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of stuff coming up that is not The Masquerade, shall we say.
And this past chapter has been more of the actual adventure troping with two whole fights.
Yeah. And they were very funny fights, but it's also like an evolution of stakes and an evolution of the story and the plot as the characters kind of grow into their understanding of what's going on. Right now, very lighthearted. In the future,
Not so much. Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. It'll mean. I don't want to say it means more because this confrontation with the cultists did mean something, but this confrontation was also just, hey, a bunch of cultists being stupid in the woods. You know, like, narratively speaking, the impact of this is not what the impact is going to be in the future.
Yeah.
And that's very deliberate. There's actual storytelling technique at work here. I promise. I swear. Also, no, I am not familiar with the trope bathos. Please inform me as to what that is, Danny. No ideas.
Just little characters. I thought about putting a cameo in this page, but I didn't want to detract from the main focus, which is Groovy's reveal.
And it would have detracted. People would have...
Basically the juxtaposition of serious and silly. Okay.
Yeah. It's something... Okay, that's not a trope that I know of specifically, but it's something that I use constantly, like, in my own work, and something that we're using here, which is like, okay, you cannot have things get overwhelmingly serious. It's part of the problem that I have with like a lot of stuff that's like, oh, this is realistic and gritty and dark, and I'm like, okay, but people need to breathe.
Yeah.
And people, and I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of people, or maybe it's just me and the company I keep, we like to laugh.
Yes.
People like to laugh. People like to seek out things that entertain them or amuse them, and that's like in day-to-day life. So characters are going to do that too. So you're gonna have silly little asides, and it's not quipping. It's very important to note, it's not a quip. It is an aspect of characterization or an aspect of the world, or just going, man, that's ridiculous. Well, like, the world is falling apart around you, but this one thing is just really dumb, and sometimes you just have to draw a little bit of attention to it.
Yep.
So it's a balance so that it doesn't get overwhelmingly like dark and grim, and you can still find some enjoyment in it. And if you can, then the characters are like not dying from being overwhelmed.
Yeah, that was my problem. That's my problem with trying to get into dramas. Like, especially, I bring this up a lot. I have that problem trying to get into The Walking Dead because my parents loved The Walking Dead.
I like The
They
Walking
watched
Dead
it
as background, but only,
religiously.
like, seasons 1 and 2.
But like, I just couldn't do it because it was just doom and gloom all the time. And the worst that humanity could offer, and I'm like, this,
like,
I'm
what
not
if-
about this.
Yeah, they're like, what if humanity was the villain all along? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we do this already. Could we just move on
Right.
and tell a nice story for a change?
If I
Anyway.
wanted, my favorite post-apocalyptic story is Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, anything Ghibli.
Anything
does
Ghibli,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like,
Nasaka is post-apocalyptic, right?
what is?
Nasaka in the Valley of the Wind.
Nausicaa.
Nausicaa, my bad.
Yes, absolutely it is.
I'm not a constant doom and gloomer. I want nice story. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
you're saying is the upcoming moment is going to be a very big moment. Other moments are important, but this one is. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We're building
So
up to bigger stakes.
We are building up to and that's how storytelling works. Like thus far, and it feels like big stakes because you know, of course it feels like big stakes. But we haven't gotten to the really big stakes yet. And by the time we get there, we'll have built up to it organically enough that it makes sense. Like, oh, this moment that we have back here that felt like big and huge was actually kind of ridiculous looking back at it.
Yeah.
But without that, we never would have gotten to the really big stakes.
We have
moving up. Like, okay. I don't think this is too much of a spoiler, so I am gonna say it. Like, we've had Darmahar's name be revealed.
Yes.
Yes. So we know who this guy is. Narratively speaking, we have given you a promise that we're gonna see Darmahar.
Yep.
At some point, Darmahar is gonna show up, and you can bet that the moment Darmahar actually shows up in person, your stakes have gone from silly little cult combat to big time serious. This is your big bad.
Yeah.
Right in front of your face. And again, I'm not going to get into details. You'll have to see that when we get there. But that's what I'm talking about. That's what we're talking about when we say the stakes are going to shift.
Yeah.
Because Darmahar showing up in person, way more threatening than whatever comedy nonsense this was that we just witnessed.
I wanted to show incompetent cultists at the beginning to introduce the idea, and then later on we're going to get cultists who are not incompetent.
Yes, so
that's
are
going to be
building
scary.
The stakes. We're going to build the stakes, and there's a lot of the story that we are going to be getting to is building off of stuff that has happened, but we don't necessarily know about it yet. The characters don't know about it yet, or they're trying to figure it out. And as we start to unfold those things, it's going to start to come together, and we're going to see a much bigger, way more serious picture than I think anybody was really expecting.
Yeah.
He is absolutely horrifying, and I'm glad that you think he's
But
absolutely
we've
horrifying.
only seen glimpses and shadows of him. Of course, I have drawings of him in the flesh ready to go because so we know what he looks like in the flesh, but
He looks gross.
he looks disgusting.
He looks gross. That's the point. That's the point of
Him
that. He's icky.
his design harkens back to the horror stuff I used to draw, like the Night of the Were-Ed comics, where I used to draw vampires and werewolves way more often. Which I don't think that's. Have you actually looked at those,
Me?
Blue? Yeah.
No, I don't think I've ever. I think this is. I knew that you used to draw horror because you told me, but I've never seen any of it. You can show me later.
I'll show you later. Yeah.
Show me later. Now's not the time.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you've seen my drawings of Dermahar. That's
100%.
That's the kind of detail that I like to put into horror.
Yes,
So.
I've also seen a picture of you. You drew somebody who was giving themselves stitches. I think you said that to me.
Yes, that was.
So I've seen that.
That was the TF2 medic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it made sense contextually.
So yeah, spoiler alert, the comic is going to get more serious as we go on.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's much of a spoiler. I would hope that's not too much of a spoiler.
The stakes, I mean, to keep readers engaged, the stakes would have to up a bit as we go, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if I necessarily say it's because of a reader engagement thing. I think it's just the nature of telling a story like this.
Mm-hmm.
If you were telling like a slice of life story, the stakes would be very different kinds of stakes, but emotionally they would
still be rising up,
yeah, like
to reach a climax.
Yeah, like that's just how storytelling works.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the point.
And I think we want to make it. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that the climax will be an actual fight with Dermahar.
Oh yeah,
like,
I would
that's
say
what
you ought to be expecting that at this point. Like we've talked about him too much for it to be anything else.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways that could be subverted, but I mean,
I don't like that though. Like
now it really does depend. It really does depend. I will say there's ways to do that very well.
Yes.
But you have to be laying the groundwork for it really, really, really early, which we have done to an extent.
Yes.
We have done that to an extent. There's characters that which we were initially going to be something else, and we have started laying the groundwork for them to be other than those initial ideas. So that can work if you do it well.
Yeah.
But in this case, no, Dermahar's our big bad. There's no point in dancing around it. Literal demon from the infernal plane. Like, I don't know what else you want from us.
I'm gonna assume a body horror monster demon is gonna look nice, so yeah, I sort of expect it needs to be
Danny.
Yeah.
Danny, go to time.
Boo! Spritz him! Spritz him!
Zombie
Everybody
cows.
spritz him.
If you want to raise the
Steaks!
yes, spell
Yuck,
it.
yuck, yuck, yuck.
You okay?
Yeah, just
Okay.
stay.
Okay.
It's allergy season.
I was just making sure it wasn't a bloody nose. That's all.
I don't get bloody nose.
No.
Okay. I do.
Used to.
I do. So.
I used to get chronic bloody noses, and then the doctors cauterized my nose with
Oh, that's fun.
Problem fixed. So what you're saying is, if we set you on fire, it solves problems.
But what I was
Sorry
saying, what I was saying was like, I get frustrated that a lot of I feel like a lot of modern writing has been like writer. I've talked
Writer
about
versus reader.
Yeah, and I've talked about this before on my art streams in the past, where it feels like an author feels threatened by people being able to guess what's going to happen,
Which is
so
insane.
they deliberately.
Like, that's the point.
So they deliberately throw in plot twists with no setup, and all you get is
It's
shock
insane.
value.
It's insane. So
Ending
Kirby,
of Game of Thrones.
we're not even gonna go there. We're not even gonna go there. But Kirby, as what you're saying, you can subvert expectations if you work it into the story as well. What you're talking about, what I'm talking about, what we're all talking about is the importance of foreshadowing.
Yes.
And the importance of actually laying down breadcrumb paths in the right way. It's like if anybody here has seen Men in Black.
Yes.
If you haven't, please go watch it. Absolutely fantastic film. But Men in Black, very fun, has one of the best, has probably kind of what I would consider to be like the definition
Crap.
of really good foreshadowing, because its ending comes as a complete surprise, but only for a split second, and then you're going, why didn't I see that before? Because all of the pieces are there, but very few people actually put it together. So that is how you do it properly.
Yeah.
Very, very easy to do. Well, not very easy to do, but like the technique is not some mystical
Unattainable,
thing.
yeah.
Like this is an actual storytelling technique that takes some practice, but is absolutely doable. And that's kind of the goal. You want most people. What you are aiming for is for most of your audience to be surprised, but in a way that makes them go, "Oh, why didn't I see all the pieces and put them together before?" As opposed to, there were no pieces to put together. That's bad storytelling.
Another good example, I feel, is Wreck-It Ralph with Turbo's reveal.
Wreck-It Ralph is so good. Turbo's reveal is excellent.
When I first saw it, I was like, whoa! And then I watched it again, and I'm like, oh my god, all the pieces were right there. All the pieces were right fucking there.
All the pieces are there. Coco does this too with Ernesto de la Cruz.
Yeah.
We're mostly... I mean, I brought up Men in Black because Men in Black is a good example of this not being like a twist villain. It's just a twist as to what you think the story is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's very, very interesting. Like, there's a lot of different ways to do this. But in this case, no. Dermahars are big bad. We're not going to dance around it. If you figured it out already, good job.
I think a lot of people have been hurt by that. I think a good example is with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. People were automatically thinking that that Principal Clavel was going to be the secret villain because that's what happened in Sword and Shield with Chairman Rose. I think
not all stories are built the same.
Yeah,
they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be. And then it turns out that it was the actual professors. So I feel like a lot of readers feel distrusting of their instincts, and they're like, what if this isn't right? What if this story point is wrong? What if I'm being misled? What if this is a red herring? And it's like, I don't want to play that game. I want to lay out the ground. I want you guys to figure it out.
Tell a good story.
Yeah, I want to tell a good story, and I want you guys to feel smart for figuring stuff out ahead of time. I
feel like the Dermahar reveal though is just like very, very obvious. I don't mind sharing that. If you figured it out before this point, I'm very glad, but I don't feel bad talking about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other stuff coming up though that we're not going to tell you about at all. So
yeah, I mean, but we're laying down the intrigue though. Like it's there. So. Like with the whole thing with the Dreamer.
If anyone's got any thoughts on that, I would be very interested to hear them.
Dialogue choice is a subtle character. Yeah. I love Wreck-It Ralph. Wasn't overly impressed by the sequel, but I understand what they were trying to do with it. I never
saw the sequel, and I'm not sure if I will.
It's very referential humor to the internet, and I'm like, nah. Yeah. I felt like the first movie told a better story.
And I'm here for stories. So.
Yeah. Oops. That's not what I didn't want to do that.
Fix your problem?
Yes. Technical problems, that's all.
Technical problems need technical solutions.
Yup. Okay. Didn't watch a sequel, but it's meant to be more of a this is the internet story rather than it was very much like haha internet jokes, and some of them made me laugh, like when he was in the garbage can and a GeoCities signs was there. That was funny.
But that's not really a
that's
story.
Not a story. That's just a that's what I was worried that the first Wreck-It Ralph movie was going to be like video game references. I like my sister said it best. Like she's like, I was really worried that Wreck-It Ralph was just going to be video game references of the movie, like an upscale Newgrounds animation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was. But not. It wasn't. It was very, very good.
Mm-hmm. I got more of those vibes in the sequel.
Yeah. Well, we can ignore that.
Don't get me wrong; it was a cute movie. It was just I was not impressed by it as much as I was.
Ignore it.
Yes. But yes. If anybody has thoughts on the Dream Visitor, we would love for you to share because they're going to be very, very important. picking out the right flower colors is going to be very important to me, even though we've already established it's not important. But it's important to me, dang nabbit. They are very cute, yes. They did go through a couple iterations of designs.
Yes, the design has shifted a lot.
And
in a good way, trust me.
and you guys are gonna laugh, but a big part of their design change came in their hair.
Yes.
Because my first playthrough of Miitopia
Yep.
had them in it, along with pretty much the main cast of Court of Roses. And I ended up giving them those big bobby, that wig with the big bobby pigtails, and we're just watching it, and we're like, this is so nice, this is so good.
Yep. And we decided.
So they ended up with the poofy pigtails.
Yep.
What that
Very
donut
good.
doing? Hi, Wolf Mecha. What's going on? We're talking about webcomics. That's what we be doing.
Specifically, Court of Roses.
Our
but we
webcomic.
have gotten sidetracked a few times.
Well,
We're still trying to stay relatively
that's
on
the
topic.
nature of conversation,
Well, I know.
Lou.
We're trying to stay relatively on topic.
Yes. Doing the best we can. Let's see here.
It's not very good, admittedly, but you know.
My thoughts is the dream visitor is going to be Blue semi-self-insert who just knows what's going to happen and sort of watches the story unfold.
Kirby, so here's my question. Is that serious or is that you being silly?
I think it's him being silly.
Probably, but I want to hear it from Kirby before I contemplate engaging with that.
Hey, Neb, what's going on? Friend-shaped, yes, yes. That was on purpose. I think it was Blue's feedback to give them a heart-shaped face,
Yes.
which is very friend-shaped.
Hi, Neb.
By nature of it being a shape of a heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, just looking very soft and approachable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think my idea for the Dream Visitor was I really wanted him to like kind of look like a hug personified.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's an interesting theory, Curbs.
Yeah. I get what trope you're going for, like the
I do.
narrator,
Yeah, like the narrator trope.
that can't get involved.
The narrator, yes.
Yeah, that's an interesting take.
It is an interesting take. Do we want to engage with that take, or do we want to leave it be?
Let's just leave it. Let's just leave it there.
All right.
What colors am I missing? Red, orange. I got yellow. Green, plenty of green.
Like the
Blue.
white daisy.
What?
I said I like the white daisy.
Yeah, I always like a good white daisy. Paprika. That's a spice. Let's do a light green. There we go. I drew too many flowers.
Kirby's like, no, I don't want knowledge. Let my theory be free. Like, all right, have fun.
I like that. There are some readers who can't decide if they want to be told if they're right or not. Like, they get mad if you tell them, and they get mad if you don't tell them, and it's like, what do you want?
I'm glad you know what you want.
Yeah.
Glad you know what you want. I will tell you, you will be learning more about the Dream Visitor in about a. Are they showing up again next chapter, or is it 2 chapters from now? Somewhere soon, sometime soon.
Sometime soon
in
they're
webcomic
gonna
time.
they're gonna show up again.
In webcomic time, in real life time, who knows when, but in
Yeah.
webcomic time.
Depends how
sometime
long
soon.
Dermista is, because I think they appear at the end of Dermista, don't they?
They do,
Yes.
right? It's at the end of the Dermista and then at the beginning of the next. Yeah.
Yes.
So at the end of Dermista,
So we'll get another appearance of them in the next
and
chapter.
we'll start to learn more.
I've already have enough knowledge as it is. I'm fine with either knowing or yeah. Yeah, Curbs.
All right.
Goofy. We love you, Curbs. Alright. But this character is a big part of a big part of how Blue helped me with some major plot holes in the story.
Yeah, they kind of ended up being a part of a lot of different plot threads.
Yeah.
Actually, which genuinely was not intentional. It just kind of happened.
I was asking her about like what direction should
Like,
this
what do I
pairing
do with this?
go?
And I was like,
what do I do
well.
with these characters? And she's like, new character. And the moment that she initially pitched this character, I'm like, I'm on board. This is good. This is good. And this character will help me explain what's going on over here.
Well, the first thing that I think the first thing that I said was like, well, I've got an idea. And you were like, what? And I'm like, it would involve another character. You're like, I need more than that. Please actually give me the idea.
Please explain.
But I finally got there.
Please elaborate. I think I'm going to need the other page for my own visual reference.
Hope your head feels better soon, right?
Oh, OBS disconnected. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, we're having internet. Yep. I
Oh,
just
love
got kicked from my game.
Oh,
Okay.
bye, game. It's because I'm here. I will blame me for the internet issues. You back?
Are we? I don't know.
I've got an idea. Stream flip because the idea was too strong. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Wait.
I don't know. Are we back?
We're back, but OBS says 0 KB beeps.
Is that back?
I don't know if we're back or attempting to. It keeps trying to reconnect.
Oh.
Alright, give OBS a second now.
Yeah.
OBS is having a panic attack.
The recording is still going,
Oh, well, that's not
but
Yeah,
those are the
recording
settings.
always.
That's the settings I have. Wow, it's not reconnecting.
You want to close it out and try
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, are we back?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, there we go.
Dear Lord.
Yep. All right, gonna have to splice those two videos together.
That'll be fun.
It's not a big problem. It just means it's gonna take longer for the video to go up on YouTube, essentially.
Oh, yay.
We're back.
Like,
Refresh
that
everyone.
already
Thank you,
doesn't take
Curbs.
5 million years.
Yeah. Well, it takes less
I do like
time on this
pair
new
of panels.
computer.
I like this pair of panels.
Yeah,
Look at how lush,
these came out so
lush
good.
and luscious Groovy's hair is.
Yeah, I
Very
love
nice in
them.
that panel.
I love them very, very much. The stream didn't look like it cut out, so it may not be cut unless you actually... Yeah, I had to close OBS because it wasn't reconnecting.
Yep, the idea overheated the system.
Clearly.
That's what happened.
Yeah, no, our whole internet went down for a split second. Yep. So those are two videos I'm gonna have to splice together, which is fine. It happens. I am gonna have to get another terabyte drive though. I haven't moved some videos off yet.
But yeah, so the Dream
green is on
Visitor character was kind of my introduction to actually having input into the story.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were
Anything-
definitely.
anything I may have said before that point that you decided to take and put into the story was not something that was like discussed to be so.
Mm-hmm. Feels mossy. And I'm also gonna have to do it to their joints and fingers. Don't let me forget.
I'm gonna let you forget.
No! You're supposed to curb tail that stuff, Blue. You're
What?
supposed to circumvent my
This
stupidity.
is not in my contract.
Might be a bit bigger than it. Yeah, I might have to invest in something bigger than a terabyte. And the reason why I hang on to all those is because of possibility of editing in the future. I need their joints.
You want to just re-download them?
I mean, I guess I could.
I feel like overboard.
Oops.
It's superfluous.
Did I made a new layer.
That
And
part already. Didn't listen to me.
There are better ways to do it.
Absolutely better ways
Don't
to do it.
don't
You know
invest
he's
in
right.
another drive. Just use the one you have. Empty it out. You can re-download old VODs from YouTube.
I suppose.
Anyway.
Anyway, I don't have a tail. Okay.
Go get one. Okay.
Well, we're back though, right? We're back. We're back. What were we talking about before OBS disconnected?
I don't remember. Dream Visitor.
Dream Visitor, yes.
I think we played that out.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to talk about them so much more, but I can't because there's nothing in the comic with them yet. Just like, what, 3 scenes? No.
Oh, apparently one of us said we have an idea, and then the stream crashed.
No, Kirby had an idea.
We
were talking about Kirby's idea.
Curb tail sounds pretty neat to have, but also literal pain in the ass. Okay, Curbs. Oh.
No, we were talking about Kirby's theories.
Right.
That's what it was.
Okay.
And we cannot confirm or deny.
Mm-hmm.
I will just say that I hope people aren't disappointed.
I don't think they will be. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have...
I like Ruby's ears. I think that one might be my favorite, like, little individual piece of their design. The inside of his ears just make me happy.
Yeah. I like that they're keeping elements of Linlery in their costume, because all of these, the feathers and the cotton, the blue cotton, are all from Linlery.
That's true, yeah.
And they, in the flashback, they have this exact same collar piece.
Yeah.
Nope. That one. Actually, come a little darker. I just want to. Oop. Oh, okay, I flipped this up. That's okay. That's okay. I'll just have to be careful.
Are you just doing art incorrectly again?
Yeah, like you do. If I was smart, I would put the back hair behind this foreground hair, but I did not do that.
You did not do that.
I did not. It's okay.
You are correct, Curly.
I'm
yes,
reading the comic property so I can
accurate.
ask questions, and my one
Well,
comic is guard gay.
Well, actually, not necessarily.
I don't think anybody is full on straight.
No, nobody is.
Nobody is straight. I can confirm
Nobody's
that.
straight.
I mean, I've done
Colloquially, I guess everybody.
I've
is
done
gay.
pride pictures of all of them.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I can confirm that Merlot is trans and bi. Diana is lesbian. Nocturne is ace.
Yes.
Sven is pan.
Yep.
And Felix is trans, non-binary,
Arrow.
aromantic.
Aromantic.
And we have many pairings that are budding. Many. Okay, that makes me happier to get the back hair and shadow, and I can do the rest of the shading later. I just had to do
Nocturne
that.
is just the ace colors. That's
Yeah.
That's all Nocturne is.
No.
Nocturne is a walking ace flag. I'm very happy about that.
His initial costume is pretty much all the ace colors with a little red splashed in because
Why not?
we're hinting towards the future couple.
Also, because you just like bright colors. Really, to be honest, you just like bright colors.
Clearly queer coded, but queer equals gay necessarily. Yeah.
Queer does not equal gay necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nocturne is a very popular fan choice, actually.
Yes. Diana too. Diana too. Felix grew on me.
Felix grows on everyone, I think,
like a fungus.
because like a little toadstool. But because they come off as really shitty at the beginning, and then
they are also quite funny.
And then you start to get a little.
See the underbelly. Also, I have the advantage of being able to talk about all these characters and where their character arcs are going behind the scenes. So, like, I know so much more about Felix than anybody else does besides Nutty. Like, the knowledge that I have about this character and where they are going, I'm happy about it.
So good. You'd want to be Nocturne's friend. Me too.
You are Nocturne's friend, Uber.
Okay, yes. It's no secret that Nocturne is inspired by Bri, yes.
Inspired, not the same.
Yeah.
Have to point that out.
Yes.
Bri does not have a cane.
Or purple skin.
Spoilers.
I'm sure he wishes he had purple skin.
Yeah.
I decided to join
You can
Phoebe.
fix that. Alright. Good choice to not interact with that. Just like, I'm not gonna answer that.
Homestuck style body paint, yeah.
Oh, I was thinking like grape Kool-Aid.
Oh, that's way less complicated.
Also slightly funnier. CoR stuff, you know.
Yeah. I need to try and take my time on these buildings because this shot matters.
It's kind of our first look at Dermista.
Yeah. A first full look at Dermista.
Yeah.
We're gonna have obviously a bigger panel, I think. I think I'm gonna do like a double spread.
We will see a lot of Dermista in the upcoming chapter for what I should hope are obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm. So you know the Sven's side dungeon where he finds a sentient rubber ducky too? Can't wait for that.
Stop looking at our private documents, Curbs.
I didn't give you access to those.
Illegal.
Chat is infested with hackers.
Dang it. You're right, you didn't. No! He hacked the system.
Although that being said, can we talk about the chicken?
Okay, we can talk about the chicken.
Okay, so I don't think it's not going to happen now. But we were considering for quite a while actually that during this arc Sven would learn how to summon creatures and would get a fire-breathing chicken as a familiar. And we decided against that for this arc, but man, it was funny.
Their name might be so little, but this place sure does look groovy. Yeah. I don't think with the songs for the page, I don't think we have to marry ourselves to strictly like fantasy foresty themes.
No.
I think we can branch out a little bit.
No.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was agreeing with you.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to, we don't have to marry ourselves to that.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Also, there's definitely things that are happening that are not necessarily Dermista related and are more related to other things, and we'll be using other songs for that anyway.
Yeah. Would have been something special, but can't wait for it to be a moment later. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got plans for way later.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just making people shapes.
But that's fair.
Yeah,
but
I can't.
It was and remains very, very funny. Yeah, exactly. And it also doesn't. It takes away from kind of the main stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
It's funny and it's cute, but you actually have to devote a lot of extra energy and story space for something that really isn't giving much to the story at this moment in time.
Right.
If we did this now, we would have to explain it. The chicken would have to be around all the time. There'd have to be a lot of space and story time dedicated to explaining this thing. Whereas at the place where we have it right now, we can just when we get there, we can just establish it and move on.
Yeah.
So storytelling wise, it just worked out a lot better to not have that here.
There we go.
It's it's in my top 10 of really small, dumb things I'm looking forward to in the future.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
It'll be very funny.
There's approximately a 3-page explanation on the chicken alone, if it were reading.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it takes away from all the other stuff that's happening, and it's not necessary. It's not.
That's what
and
I was.
It's not adding anything to Sven at this moment in time.
That's what I was worried that would happen with Elshia.
Mm-hmm.
And it did take a couple of pages or some to explain,
Yes.
but it was in the context of Linlery. Because
Yes.
so we learned about Linlery and what she's about and how she works with the old magics, and Elshia is a product of that.
Yeah, so it did work for Elshia. We were able to keep that because we were able to use Elshia to further another far more important character.
Yes.
But Sven getting the chicken right now really wasn't going to do anything for Sven or anyone else.
I think I came up with
gonna
the
take up
idea
space.
because I wanted it to be like, this is Sven actually working with magic now that he's been more
but there's better
exposed
ways
to
to do it.
But there's better ways to do it. And so I did more of a small nod to that when he was using magic to put out the campfire at the beginning of the chapter.
Yes. Yeah.
Considering-
So and that kind of thing is the sort of thing that I think for Sven is better served as being in the background anyway.
Yeah.
Because readers should be picking up on that kind of thing and seeing, okay, so we're seeing him evolve as a character without having to explicitly point out and yell at it, which is not, the best storytelling in the world.
Mm-hmm. But there are some readers who also, bless you, who also don't pick up. You just finished the Goblin chapter, and I'm sad I didn't read. Aw, well,
You got
now's
so much fun stuff up ahead of you.
now's the time to do it because we are after the Thursday will be the last page of the current chapter, and then we're gonna go on break for the summer so that we can catch up on the script. So now is pretty much a good time to catch up for most readers.
Now's a really good time to catch up. I'm probably going to reread it a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
I like to look back at it because I've got my favorite moments, and I'm like, oh, I'm having emotions over it.
I like to look
so
back and see people reacting to it, like in the comic.
That's fun.
That's always fun too.
That is fun.
And then I get reminded of the one person who tried to argue in favor of arranged marriage in one of that
Oh,
comments.
that was an interesting
And I'm like,
comment.
that's not the point of what we're trying
You have complete. The point is over here, and you are over here. Yes.
Yes, there was a
Same
person who was like, I think they
Curly
interpreted.
doesn't know who Warren is.
Yeah,
It's all right, Curly. You'll get there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll be quiet about it.
Okay, yeah.
Essentially a jerk of a character.
Oh, I think they're doing that in response to the arranged marriage comment.
Oh, yeah. It's entirely possible.
Look, a full page of literally just me superimposed over each family. Oh, Neb, you know
Neb
the
knows.
commenter, yeah.
Neb knows.
And I just remember reading that because it wasn't the whole point is that like Felix understands that an arranged marriage is a noble thing, and
Yes.
and that was the point of that.
Yeah.
Not
less that, arranged marriages are bad and terrible. It's more that, your nobility.
yeah.
Like, there was a very specific character point that was trying to be made there that person did not click into.
Mm-hmm. And that with publishing stuff online,
It
that
does
just
happen.
that just happens. That just happens. You're
I
just
mean,
gonna
it would
get.
happen even if you weren't publishing stuff like if this were traditionally
gonna get-
published. I'm sure you'd get reactions like that. You just wouldn't be seeing them.
Yeah, they wouldn't be all up in my
They'd be
face,
very
and people wouldn't be making memes about it, and me going like, okay,
Alright.
okay, yeah. Not gonna dwell on that one.
Nope.
Yes.
We will move on.
Yes. I am drawing tree houses and having a good time.
You say that like someone desperately trying to convince themselves they're having a good time.
Oh, this foul. That's a very unique spelling of that word, Curbs. You gotta be ready for people's opinions. Okay, you made yeah. Yeah. You know what? I think I'm gonna put a layer for the willow leaf because all this green here are willow branches, and I think I'm gonna put. I'm
Okay.
just gonna put another layer. I'll build
Alright.
the trees below them. The box. See, this is the big panel. It's going to take forever. And then I'm going to go down here, and this one's going to be easy streets.
Yes.
Mhm.
So,
I'm going to keep going.
yep. Because this one's the one that has all the background. The other one is just like 10 characters in a trench coat.
It's the best pronunciation of Lumphal, therefore I have to spell. Yeah, fair. Oops. Making a webcomic has been an adventure, and obviously, I mean, I've done it before with Night of the Were-Ed, but not nearly to this scale. Night of the Were-Ed was like something I did in high school and first year of college.
And it sounds like it was like a fan fiction.
It was an Ed, Edd and Eddy werewolf fan comic, yes. But
Probably fun though.
it was very fun.
I'm sure you had a blast.
I had a
doing
great time. And people still ask me to continue it when I definitively ended it. So, you know how that
it.
goes.
Like, you have moved on.
I've moved on and people keep asking to this day. Good. Glad to hear.
Glad you're feeling better. Yeah. That was a lot of story talk.
Which is what we're here for.
It's true.
If you need to take a moment to step back, that's fine.
I just need a moment to stretch my legs and
Okay.
get a drink, and I will be right back.
Okay. Danny, that wasn't a comic, that was a fanfic. I didn't actually make Super Eds into a full-fledged comic. That was just a fanfic. And that one I didn't finish. I kind of ended it on a cliffhanger, and then I couldn't, for the life of me, wrap it up.
I'm back.
Oh,
Didn't take
hi.
me long at all.
I thought you were gonna get a drink.
I did. I had a drink. I just needed to finish it.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't bring it over was my problem. I'm good.
The hydrate should have... all the redeems should be working. I only have hydrate and stretch turned on. Probably. I know it was a big... There we go. There it is. Ugh. I've just been vibing, so I haven't thought about redeems. Fair.
We've had a lot of good.
I have most of them turned
good
off for Blue's sake.
There's a lot of them, and they kind of overwhelm me.
Yeah, no.
They're
When I
very-
have guests on, I tend to turn most
Yeah.
of them off.
Well, you have very loud, bright ones.
Yeah.
And they're
I think
They're a lot.
I think they're fun.
They're a lot.
I think they're fun, but
They are a lot.
I respect my guests. And they also, if I have them on with when I have guests on, they just get distracting for the most part.
like I said, they're big and loud.
Conversations have been good. A lot have been made my brain work on topics I enjoy. Hell yeah.
Good. Good. That's the point.
Well, this means we're at the end of the first game soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
I went and I was using the already made playlist for Spyro music, and they kept including the PAL versions that are really broken. So I just said fuck it, and I made my own Spyro playlist.
Oh, there you
grabbing from most of them.
Yep, that's how it
And
works.
then YouTube flagged the world themes from Spyro 2. So like the long drawn out pretty notes that are in
That's
Autumn
so
Plains
weird.
and Summer Forest.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I think
Of all the
it
things to flag.
it got flagged as something completely different is the thing. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just they're as pretty as they are. I'll just remove them.
It's so weird. All right.
I have to do that with some playlists sometimes, where I have to remove songs that get flagged by Twitch or YouTube. A good intellectual conversation, ironically for me, considering my presentation.
I really need to know what you think your presentation is now.
Mystical. Kirby is an enigma.
Ah.
Always has been.
All right. We'll go with that. Yeah. If anyone has any comic questions or a topic you would like to talk about regarding the comic, let us know.
And I'm glad you enjoyed the Goblin chapter too. Was
that when I came on? I think you were in the middle of the Goblin
I think
chapter
I was in the
when
middle of
came
the
on.
Goblin chapter when you came on, yes.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
That, I believe that was when you started talking to me about it, and I don't think I was an official co-writer until a little later. But I think that's when you started really talking
Yes,
to me
because
about
your stuff started incorporating into the chapter after when they were in Knot, and we started getting some more information about the characters themselves.
I think that was the point where you were just like, could you just be like an actual
Can you
co-writer?
help? Can you help?
Help me with this, please? And I was like, I thought that
We
was
made
what
the
I was doing.
official announcement during an interlude that you were.
Yes, I did an interlude.
Yes, it was one of the guest art interludes where we made the because you wrote you wrote a quote unquote fanfic, which
I
is
wrote a couple of different fanfics.
You
but
wrote
yes.
well, you wrote Winter Warble, which
Yes,
was its
Winter
own
Warble.
thing, and then you wrote
Which is
a
cute.
Lilac Fairy Tale, and that's when we announced that you were the co-writer.
I would say they're both canonical, but
They are
Winter
canonical.
Winter Warble is, I would rewrite it if given the chance. I'm not going to, because like then that would require changing up like all of the art, not necessarily what the art is, but like
replacing the text.
replacing the text and dealing with it. So it's a pain in the butt, but yeah, that thing could
I
stand
I can barely be arsed to go back and fix typos. You think I'm gonna go?
which
I should. I know I should.
But also that's why I'm not going to do it. I'm just like, that actually puts the onus on you to like
Yeah.
go back and re-put all that in there.
re-put it all, re-upload it all.
And it's not that bad. It's just me looking at it going, man, I wrote some of this not so great.
Yeah, exactly. When in one of Phoebe's ones, there's a double P somewhere because it was on my old keyboard where the keys got stuck.
Oh yeah.
And so there were double P's and double K's
Gotta
somewhere.
love a good broken keyboard.
Oh yeah. I've had zero problems with my keyboard with this this pretty cheap in comparison Logitech keyboard. Oh, I think that tree's done. Look at that.
Logitech's a good brand.
Yeah, they're very solid. Bri, do you happen to know what brand your headphones are so we can look into getting them replaced?
I'm not sure about the brand. I just need new headphones. Doesn't matter what brand.
Okay.
New headphones that presumably are not $300.
Yeah, oh my. We went to go get
Dry.
Yeah. We went to go get headphones for Blue at Best Buy, and the majority of them were at least $100. And I'm like, what?
I don't know if these were a gift or not.
I'm pretty sure those were a gift, hon. I'm almost certain they were a Christmas
probably
gift.
Not over like 60 then, because my parents don't really buy anything over $60.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Broken keyboard, the joke wrote itself, provided the joke only consists of P, K, and M. Yeah. It was the P key, the K, the O, it was that whole region of the keyboard that was stuck on my laptop. Which my laptop in theory still works. I just haven't opened it since I've got the new computer going because why would I?
You're not taking it out anywhere. To use
Yeah.
it.
No.
Not taking it out on a field trip.
Nope.
Anyway.
It was useful when I had to go back and forth between my house and Bry's old house.
Yes.
But that's not a concern anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to find good ones that won't. Yeah. Ridiculous.
We did find a pair that was about $20,
Mhm.
and it's working. It works really well,
Yeah.
actually. So, it does not have an attached microphone, but it doesn't need it. So
No.
I don't care. Yeah, we got lucky. It was, I think, the only pair.
No, it was a card that we had to take to the front
Yes,
desk.
but it was the only pair of headphones that was less than $40, $50.
Yeah.
So we got very lucky. And most of them were over $100.
Ridiculous.
So, yeah, but I would much rather talk about the story. That's so much-
Yes,
that's
I know.
nicer
That's why you're here.
and more fun.
I know. I
Yeah,
know. I'm sorry.
It's not technology.
Technology.
Spending money.
I'm almost done with this. Not really.
We very much not. Put all that backgrounding.
You have a question, Ray? Okay, now I have to decide the colors, but loosely base it off of this, what I've got already up here. What led to the creation of Felix? All the main 5 characters were created at the same time. They were kind of based on... Since Blue loves talking tech, yeah.
Kirby.
I mean, they're all kind of aspects of my own personal life. Like, Burlo was my first D&D character. Diana has bits of my personality.
Is Felix just your desire to look at the world and go, excuse me, why?
Yeah, Felix incorporates a lot of my rage and exasperation with the world. Sven was inspired by my dad. Yes, I know, I'm stretching. I'm stretching. I'm Hakamaka. Let's see. Yeah, see, there you go. Now I have an excuse to stretch. No, Curbs, do not. I'm gonna fight you, Curbs.
Please just redeemed it 4 times.
He gonna.
Because it's Kirby. It's Kirby.
Nerd. Okay, let's see here. Alright, put him up. Death to the mod. Mods ban him. Oops.
Mod ban yourself.
He's
Ban
tried.
himself.
He's given me screen caps that say, "Sorry, you can't ban yourself."
That's so funny.
Yeah, that works. Okay.
What point are you proving?
Position fuel myself. Mod ban.
Mod ban myself. Exactly. Right?
Mods, send that mad to the gallows.
That seems a bit extreme. Yeah.
Clearly you haven't seen some of the people who yet.
Oh, man.
Not talking about any of the regulars.
No.
Sometimes there's people who come in and
Well, yeah, but in this
use
particular, instance, like that seems a little over the top.
Mod, send him to the principal office and have him expelled.
Send him to the chokey.
I love this song so fucking much. This is above and beyond my favorite from Spyro 2.
You're good. You're good. I knew you were joking. I was joking in return, but it's harder to tell, I guess.
No. Okay. It's okay. If I misclick, then clips you to a paint goes, "Oh, you want the entire canvas filled with this color?"
And you were like, yes, exactly. Now we can fix this horrible mistake that I made, which is trying to draw a picture.
Those are fun. People pretend I have tangible head there. It's really fun.
If you say so, Curbs. Yes, story.
Story.
Something about the story.
Yes, okay, somebody brought up earlier the Festival of the Dead. Yes, I made that clear because in the cameo,
Oh yeah, it's in the cameo sheet.
it's in the cameo sheet, yeah.
Cameo sheet.
I wanted to ask specifically if people's characters have somebody they lost, which is going to be important for the Festival of the Dead.
The Festival of the Dead is going to be It's not a turning point.
No.
It'll be an interesting character moment.
It has a character moment in it that's been locked in my brain for years.
Yep.
And I have it visually, and it's one of those things that's visually in my head, but it's not going to look exactly like how it's in my head, and I'm just going to have to live with that.
You're going to have to deal with that. Also, I will say, I know for a fact that it has changed since you had it locked in your head because we've talked about that.
Yes.
So, minute changes. The bulk of it's the same, but
the visual.
But there are changes. Oh, the visual, yeah.
The tone of the visual itself is the same.
Absolutely. You can share your predictions.
Yes.
Okay. Free real estate on sharing predictions for sure, big or small.
And then we can make snap decisions on whether to confirm or deny them.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works.
Be the fifth.
I'm just laying down color. I think I'm gonna build most of this
Are
with
submissions
shading.
still open? Nev wants to know.
Yes. They're gonna be open. They're gonna
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just if you turn it in like at the nth hour and we're
at
already
the end of the chapter.
yeah,
then
if we're
it's-
like, you know, 75% of the way through the chapter, it might be there's really no place to put you. Sorry.
Yeah. But no, I mean the new chapter doesn't even start till September, so
I'm gonna force you to share, Kirby. You brought this on yourself by being in chat and mentioning you had ideas. Alright.
ooh, that's too dark.
This is the icy place, right? Just
No,
music?
this is a Colossus.
Is this Colossus?
Yes. Yes, it's the chanting guys.
Oh.
You hear it?
Yeah, no, I hear it.
Yeah.
I thought Colossus had ice. It has the ice skating rink.
Yes, it's in a.
That's
it's,
what I was
it's in
thinking
like
of.
it's in like a tundra,
Yeah,
but
it is a tundra area. Okay, all right, yep. We're on
yeah,
the same
it's like
page.
a
Cool, cool, cool.
mountain, and it has mountain goats in it.
We're on the same.
I actually had a minor idea of a core fan character in the back of my head.
Oh, that's the dangerous slippery slope. And it's arguably how I got involved in all this in the first place.
Right? I'll wait until I can draw him to say more. Sick! That's exciting!
Fair enough.
Okay. I think I can start laying down the background.
Oh yeah, Groovy. Groovy absolutely has the longest hair of anybody in this comic, bar
Yes.
none. Like it's
Hi,
not even a
Misty.
contest.
Hi, Misty. This is our cleric of Jade, and we love them so very much here. They're
Look
so
how tall they are.
I don't know,
Giant.
at least 7
I
feet.
said look at how tall they are.
Oh, okay. Love them very much. What was I gonna do? Right, background.
Yeah, it should be they.
Mhm.
We've kind of been slipping up on it a bit. I know I've slipped up a little. Here
Oh
and
yeah, me
there,
too.
But
They're they them even before the Ascension.
yeah, the Ascension did not change.
Their gender. No.
Yeah, their identity,
Mm-hmm.
who they are.
No, it just made them
It just
a little more certain with the
it
world.
made them more themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can they play back? Honestly, that's a good question. I feel like Groovy really wouldn't know how to play basketball. I don't think Groovy would really have the hand-eye coordination for it.
Yeah.
I really
they're a
don't think they
little
would.
too gangly.
I just don't think they'd really have the ability to bounce the basketball correctly. I think it would like end up like bouncing off of their feet most of the time.
Ooh.
And like there's a very specific way that you bounce it. You'll see this like kids can't bounce a basketball correctly. You have to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And I think Groovy would be like that, just does not know how to actually bounce the ball correctly.
Mm-hmm. Here's something with Curbs is saying. Nocturne's gonna have a moment. I don't know how this festival works in full, so I don't know what the spiritual details are. Nocturne having some moment of learning or hearing something new about his family. Probably the most basic guess, but that's one. That's a
Alright.
good guess.
That's a good guess. I like that guess.
Oh, wrong layer. Sprinkle in a little more green. Mossy. I need to look at more pictures of, what is it? Myrtle Canyon? It's a canyon near here that's very much covered in moss and stuff.
Okay. I don't know the place, but you can look at the
I looked
pictures
at it. I went there years ago as part of the big. It was Eaton Canyon and then Millard Canyon.
Millard came
Okay.
after
Yeah.
there. Campton.
I can tell you a secret, and the secret is if you want to go back to a place or go to a place for like comic research, you're allowed to do that.
This is true.
That is something you can do.
This
That's
is
something I have
very
done
true.
with people as part of comic like
This is
reference
very
reps.
true.
I have
I'm pretty sure my folks would be happy to take us camping.
That sounds sick.
There you go.
Did you go down the quote unquote river slide
Oh yeah.
and burn your tuchus on it?
Yeah, there's like a concrete slab there.
Yeah.
It's definitely man-made, but yeah, I've jumped in that pond.
But yeah, so like Blue said, there's a lot of inspiration with which is interesting. It's a lot of inspiration is taken from those levels in Donkey Kong Country, but those levels.
Weirdly enough, it's you wanna know what else this is kind of reminding me of? Like in a very this is weird, but it's kind of reminding me of the end from Minecraft. Does that make sense?
Bit.
Do you see it? Okay.
Okay, yeah. But in the actual, so they did Super Mario Bros. Really revealed recently that in the Donkey Kong Country files, the artwork for those backdrops are labeled Ewok. So they took very, very obvious
Very cool.
Inspiration from Ewok.
Very
Second is more of a, I think it may happen, but I feel like there's going to be a reveal of one of the cast's family being revealed to be no longer be of this world. I could make predictions, but making predictions of, I think this character's going to be dead never ends well. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Fair enough. I would say it's not really much of a stretch to assume that at the Festival of the Dead we're gonna get some more information about like people's histories and their family histories. It's going pretty good, geek outs. I don't know.
Geeks. That's my buddy. That's my Marvel buddy. Geeks. Hi, geeks.
Geeks.
We're doing well. How are you? I was gonna say the background is giving me. Yeah. That's one of many reference materials.
And then I took it to a weird place with Minecraft.
Actually, I haven't gotten to the end. When I
But
play,
you've seen pictures.
I've
you know
seen
what it looks like.
I've been at the end in servers that have already unlocked the end. You know what I mean?
So you know what it looks like.
Yes.
That was my whole point.
Yes.
The Festival of the Dead is about dead people.
Yeah.
Yes and no, I would say.
It's a very specific festival which we will present to you in a play. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, you will get the information.
Probably a character we've heard about before. Yeah. One character death we have confirmed is Nicholas.
Oh, yeah, he's fully dead.
Because we watched it happen. It was on screen.
We watched him die. Personally. It's kind of what launched all of these characters. No, just the it's not singing.
No.
There's music, but there's no singing, I don't think.
I don't think so. That would require me to write a song.
No.
And I'm not good at writing songs.
So we're not doing that, but
it's like it's kind of like
just a play with like musical background.
Think of like a grade school play, but like higher like a Ren Fair play.
Yeah.
Kinda.
They're not singing. They're not singing in it. It should be nice though.
Dare I use the sing? No, I turned it off. I turned off most redeems today because I do that in respect to my guests. The hell of proficiency grind is like, rough. Geeks always has to give me his Marvel Rival updates.
Gotcha.
Marble Rivals.
Nicholas Bailey, Count Bailey.
The main
Bailey,
murder victim that we're investigating.
Yes.
The
the guy who died. He was very clearly murdered. His voice was stolen from him, and then he was murdered.
Yes.
Just to add insult to injury.
Okay, he was confirming.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, confirmation that is who it is, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now I get to cover a lot of this work in mist.
No, because A, Ariel wasn't actually murdered. And B, this was absolutely an assassination.
Yep. By a trained assassin.
By a trained assassin. Nicholas did not willingly give up his voice for anything. It was very much stolen. Brutally.
And there's
moments before he was, I don't know, I believe the term is shanked.
Meaning the voice taken part. Yeah, it was a poison that
wore away his vocal cords.
Yeah, it ate his vocal cords away. Yeah.
Neat.
Little gruesome. I think I put that initially as a way to deepen the mystery, and then we started talking about, I'm just gonna say it, we started talking about clerics, and then taking his voice away made a lot more sense after that.
It really did. I think
I can drop that hint.
yeah. I think that's one of the changes that like really worked.
Oh god, the inclusion of the clerics was incredible. Like, Groovy existed before the clerics did.
Yes.
And then making them the Jade cleric just made so much sense.
Yes. The clerics are entirely my fault. They are, because I remember having this conversation.
Yes.
And I think you were the one who were like, well, I don't want it to be like super related to D&D. Was that you? Or maybe I mentioned that I know you don't want it to be super D&D related.
I wanted to branch away from the D&D lore.
But so clerics being what they are and how they work was entirely my brainchild.
Yeah.
It was all my fault.
And then the pieces for them fell into place beautifully. And now, I mean, it's pretty much confirmed. Merlot being the new Lilac cleric. I don't think we've confirmed who the old one was.
No, we have not.
But now that I dropped that thing about Nicholas.
I don't think we have strictly confirmed it, but I think there's enough information in the comic that people could draw the correct conclusion.
Yeah.
Misty, honestly, that would make a really good Vogue magazine cover, so can't blame you.
I was very particular with this pose, yeah.
And we fixed Groovy's knee, and everything's good now.
Bubs. That's for specifically the lightning bubbles, the light bubbles. Which I did confirm are spirits because they weren't inside the force field, the barrier.
Yeah.
And they didn't come down until the barrier.
Just fun backgrounding stuff
that was a
adds to the
visual
world building, but
that was a
doesn't need to be
visual
said.
yeah, that was a visual choice that I made.
Also, tonally, just yeah.
Yeah.
Good choice.
It
good choice.
really
Good choice all around.
Yeah. It made filling out that page nicer to have the panel of them descending down.
Yes.
I might lighten up Groovy's colors.
Plot of the comic. Yes, this is a comic stream.
Yes,
so
we're focused on the comic.
we're trying to keep it as focused as we can.
We
do get
divert,
sidetracked sometimes.
but that's the nature of conversation. I'm gonna lighten up their colors, I think.
We'll have to do shading too.
Yeah, but even right now, they look a little too dark for me.
As focused as I ever get, Curbs.
Oh, you know what? Let me focus the hair first.
Yeah.
'Cause the hair is what's really popping a lot. There we go. No, actually, I think that works. I think it was just the hair that needed to be that was too dark for me.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're making good time. We're only 2.5 hours in. These streams usually take between 3 to 4 hours, usually. And we're already almost done with this first initial panel, and then the second one won't take near as long.
You've also only got the 2 panels. So that
Yeah.
helps.
Well, I knew this top panel was going to take more time just because of the nature of it. But if ever you feel like you need to step away, feel free to.
Gotcha. Doing okay for right now.
Okay.
Aquaria Towers?
Yes.
So.
I've listened to this soundtrack at length so much that I can.
Because you use it for streaming.
I use it for stream, but even before streaming,
Yeah.
I would put it on all the time. Back in college, I would put it on.
It's a very good soundtrack.
It strikes the itch It really does strike that perfect working vibe feel.
Is this character on Art Fight?
No, Groovy is not on Art Fight. I don't know if I'll add them or not. I don't think I will, because they haven't even appeared in the comic yet. I don't know. Do you think I should?
Nah.
You already have so much.
I already have a
Art
lot.
Fight.
I already have a lot. I say is there are many people who have the limit is 100.
That's so many.
You
My
can
gosh.
have 100 up
That's
to
a
100 characters.
lot.
Yeah. And some
Maybe
people
next year. Put them on Art Fight next year. There we
Yeah.
go. After
'Cause-
they've already shown up and are
'cause
established.
Morana is on Art Fight.
I know
'cause-
Morana is.
Because she's a very popular side character, Morana, which is a big
Because
reason
of
why
when
I brought her
she's
back.
got
in
the
Kelso.
Addams Family vibes.
Yeah.
That's always popular.
She was very
I would
well
I
beloved.
would say put Groovy on Art Fight after we have a chance to know who Groovy is
To
as
meet-
a character.
To meet them, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
like-
will definitely be. I think they'll be able to make it next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll have a way better idea of who they are once.
I mean, we know who they are, but you guys are just like, what? I don't know.
You're just like, woo, tall person.
I pretty much
Tall
with
tree
like a blanket
person.
of hair, which is great visually, but doesn't really give you much to work with otherwise.
We're theoretical, but I gotta see if I can come up with a good comic-related topic. Theoretically, you could add pre-existing VK character to CoR as there were no character changes. What would you feel? Oh,
Who do you feel?
who do you think would be able to be inserted into the world without clashing with the universe's established lore?
Oh, good question.
Probably a number of Zelda characters.
With no character
With
changes?
no
With
changes.
no character changes at all. Yeah, you could take Link and put him in
Yeah, you
real
could take,
easy.
you could take Link. You could argue that Zelda is a princess from afar off, because Court of Roses is only focused in Prismal. Lord knows there's
Oh, there's absolutely
places
other
outside, because that's
yeah.
where the Malarks come from. Thank
Yeah.
you. Mm.
Yes,
Thank you, Misty. Have a good day
you
at
could
work.
copy paste them in easy. I think Link would fit very easily.
Oh yeah.
What else have we got? I think that's probably about it. The thing is, setting actually matters like a lot more than you think it does. that really is what it is. Setting does actually make a big difference to how characters work.
Yeah.
So, but Link being, a very silent protagonist in a world that is quite similar, though not identical, and not having any innate magic, really, Link would transfer over very, very well.
Yeah. I think a number of Elder Scrolls characters could also translate.
That's possible. I don't know
Yeah.
enough about Elder Scrolls characters though to pick any out.
Elder Scrolls is the type of game where there's a whole bunch of characters and everyone will latch on to different NPCs.
And I just don't know who they are,
Yeah.
so it doesn't. Yeah.
For me, it's
I like that you're shading with green. That's nice.
yeah. Like in Skyrim, it's Eric the Slayer, because I also know the story behind why he was created. He was a nod to a big fan who had leukemia, and they named Eric after him.
Do you love a good story like that?
The fan, yeah. I can see the fan from the arena, the adoring fan. Yeah. There is an arena in Hillsborough.
There is.
Yeah.
That's true. There
Yeah.
is.
I wonder if we'll be able to touch on that, or if it'll be a background thing. Because that's... Does this mean Sean Bean plays Nicholas? Stop! Stop it! No!
He
He
probably
could.
do a really good job of
He
it.
could! That's the problem, he could! Oh no! Sean Bean is Nicholas Bailey.
Well, that's what it is now. Can't go
Fuck.
around that.
Oh my god. No, dude.
I know the joke is because he dies really early, but also
But
consider
also, he do.
Nicolas Cage as Nick Bailey.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Face is all
I
wrong.
was.
Face and voice all wrong. Would not work. Not the kind of. No. The
I was
problem.
mostly making the joke because
You
of the
were.
name.
No,
Yeah.
I understand. The problem is Nicolas Cage is the kind of actor that you look at and you're like, oh, that's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Like I don't get character.
Like-
for
like you
Nicolas Cage,
can't-
I just get Nicolas.
You can't really
Sean Bean, I get the joke from, but like he also does fit the character that he's playing.
he plays many characters. He's
Yes.
not necessarily typecasted. Well, it's like Nicolas Cage isn't typecasted either.
Nicolas Cage isn't typecast. Nicolas Cage just has one of those faces that it's like, you are Nicolas Cage. You
That's
have to put
Nicolas
in a
Cage,
lot
and you
extra.
can't disassociate that from
Yeah,
Nicolas Cage.
it's not great, and it's probably more of a.
But
me
he
problem than
leans into
anything
that.
else.
That's
He
the
does-
thing.
Yeah,
he
does
leans
lean
into it, and he makes it work. So
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on from that.
we need to play some D&D. Yeah, we should. It's been a while since I played some good D&D. Blue has been running.
I have been running a campaign for God knows how long.
Yeah.
5 years. 5 years.
So cool. I do miss.
5.5.
I do miss playing in.
And I've
Tabletop.
almost finished running my smaller campaign, so.
Nice. Shiva has offered to run she has to build the game of it's a different tabletop, but it's one with a more robust system. So I'm excited for that.
Should be fun.
He has depth and variety, but he also has a little detail of always dying. Yeah, Sean Bean. Yeah. He's
Not always. He has survived sometimes.
He survives sometimes, but there's a laundry list of like I looked it up, and there's like an article that lists all of his deaths. We were actually looking over it during a game night at one point.
We can definitely talk about it, geeks.
Yeah.
I think he actually survives a lot more than he does. It's just that his deaths are always so memorable.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Also, they're in stories that are like big, so everyone knows about them. So it's embedded in pop culture consciousness.
His roles, his more mainstream roles, have him dying. And
Not Sharp though. He was in Sharp for like 14 seasons and didn't die. We talked about that.
Yeah,
it might not be 14.
in
but
Game
it's
of
a lot.
Thrones, he dies at the end of season 1.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
we know that.
Yeah.
That one, everyone knows.
And in the first Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah. He'd probably make a pretty good Count Bailey.
I think he would, especially in flashbacks.
Oh God, in the flashbacks. Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I clean forgot we
We've-
have more flashbacks coming up.
We've established who he is. Before.
Yeah, before we start getting into this, we've had that one flashback and we've established him, but don't we have more coming up?
I think we do, and we've had a couple because we
have more
had
stuff coming up.
when we were talking about the ambassador. He was in that flashback, and then he was in all that big exposition flashback where they reveal who that yes, that is it. I think somebody picked up a few readers picked up on, hey, isn't that Nicholas in the ambassador flashback? And then
Absolutely.
then we
have people
confirmed
picking
it.
up on that.
Yeah.
We have people picking up on that. I know we do have some more flashbacks coming up because we're gonna have to get more into that murder later.
Yeah.
And explain what happened and what led up to it, and that's gonna require some flashbacks.
Yeah.
So
Oh shit.
I'm looking forward to that. Actually, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Oh, I need to shade everything behind them.
How dare you?
Oops. No. I do that all the time. The fucking Windows key.
Stop ruining art. Yeah.
At least I fixed the thing where if I hover over this, the whole big
That's
ass panel
true.
doesn't come out.
That's true.
I
That
hate
did-
that.
that did.
Windows 11 sucks.
He was a lovely man, Danny. He was delightful.
He was well loved. Very much well loved. And I'm glad we were able to say that, like, he came, and the best part about him is that he came from a very terrible place and made the decision for himself to seek a happier life.
Yes.
And so did Verilyn.
Yes.
So did Verilyn, just not as overly joyous as.
Yes. Virulent, they were very different people.
They were very different people, but they were all looking for the same
They
thing.
were all looking for the same thing. And you have a friend in chat.
I do. Shiva, hello. How are you doing?
Yeah, I still remember kind of hitting you with, oh, Kirby's got a tangent.
Before I move back to comic again, best nod to the character detail has to be his target character. Oh, yeah, Hitman 2.
That's
where
fine.
literally knows the Undying. You have a meeting with him where he just talks about he's being killed only, sir. Oh, yeah.
Back to the comic now. Yes. Yeah, I remember hitting you with the notion that, hey, what if Nicholas was married? And you looked at me like, what?
It's like, what? Wait.
Like,
Okay, can we make this work somehow?
like,
And then you made it work.
What you mean by that? Like,
And then-
use small terms so I can understand.
And then you worked your writer magic and you made it work. You did. You literally made it work by making her a long distance wife. Absolutely, and for good reason too, because she was trying to clean up the messes of the war.
Yeah.
So it worked. It worked out
there was
beautifully.
A lot of mess to clean up.
I
too.
think the only thing I had to retcon from our changes was I had to redraw Virulent's face scars.
Yes.
That was the only thing,
that
and that
needed
was
to be redrawn.
and that was 3 pages, and that was it. That was the only thing.
And it didn't change, no content.
It
other
didn't
than that
change the content. It just changed
some of
his
the
appearance.
visual presentation. Yes.
Yeah.
Writer magic. It is genuinely, not to toot my own horn or anything, but if any of you guys are like thinking about like taking pre-existing stories and trying to retroactively like fit information in them without destroying any of the lore, it's much harder than you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
So just be prepared. It does take a lot of like looking at it and then going, well, will this work? And then going, no, because that contracts with something else. But if I add this in, then that would actually solve that problem. But now I have to worry about this. So like,
And
there's a lot of cascading effects.
sometimes we have to kill our darling ideas. There was a scene I had in my head that does not work anymore with how we characterize Virulent, and I'm like, you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, it does.
That
not
is
work
okay.
Anymore. It doesn't work anymore. And there, I think there were scenes that I had ideas of and are not going to work at all. And it's like, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
that's how
the process works.
Your first draft is not always going to be the end all be all.
Never going to be the end all be all.
Oh god, I forgot about the frickin' willow branches. Shit. Okay.
Shiva, I understand completely. Trust me, I'm right there with you. Oh gosh.
I'm gonna try the sketch brush and see how I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I think.
You think you like it a lot. You haven't decided if you do or you don't yet.
I like the brush, not the color. That's what it is.
Is that better?
Yeah, because it's sticking out. I think my first campaign, I burnt 2 full notebooks.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
That sounds about right.
I wrote a cross-reference encyclopedia. Holy!
You guys are so organized. I'm just like, I'm going to keep 90% of this in my head and then stare a lot at the screen while I try to figure out what I'm doing.
What do we have? We have rough notes that we gather from our Discord chats. We have an outline, and then we have a script.
Yes.
Those are two.
The outline has undergone a lot of changes.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of stuff where I was like, ooh, this idea works. And then I come back 3 months later and I go,
No.
Maddie, guess what? The idea doesn't work. And he's like, but we had it solved. And I'm like, no, but I was looking at the lore and we did not in fact have it solved.
No! It's like the story evolves or something. That's fucking crazy. Just pants my session, like the outline, but like for the world. Oh yeah. I'm the one who mainly focuses on the script because the script is what I write and then translates into the physical page itself. And then Blue looks it over to see if the and sometimes makes dialogue changes.
Yeah, there's been a few times where I've looked at the dialogue and gone, that is not going to work.
Yeah, because sometimes my dialogue gets a little clunky. I know, I'm aware. Or sometimes it doesn't fit with the scene or the character. Well, hell, we changed something that Groovy said because I gotta try and get in the mindset of like they said, they are very groovy. They are very chill, but they don't use big words.
No, groovy had a word that was like intriguing, and I'm like,
You know
that
what?
is not a groovy word. Use
Nope.
interesting.
Interesting.
Interesting
All
is
he
a
has
groovy
to
word.
all they have to say is interesting, and that works.
And yes, these are two words that they even start with the same letter. They are roughly the same length, but intriguing is not a word that groovy is.
Yeah.
That's all. It is.
And she was 1,000% correct, and I'm like, yeah, that's an easy fix. Dubbed my first taste, the Rosewater incident. I think you were talking about this before. The character that was supposed to be the big bad evil guy, ended up being the first arc boss because of how yeah. Stuff changes sometimes.
Oh yeah. Gotta change your minds on a lot, and when you're trying to get players to go for the plot, I have to change what I'm doing on a whim often to get the characters to go where I need them to go. So the trick is being able to do that in a way that works.
Yeah.
You can do it though. It's interesting. It's fun. But yeah, lots of changes. Based on the description, not based on who they are as a character, especially not given the role that they have, that they've grown into over the years.
Yeah.
So no, I would actually say groovy is not really using the word neat so much. It really doesn't fit what they do. And what they do has very much become a major part of who they are.
Yeah. He just goes, oh, interesting. All right. Yeah, okay. It's I'm just gonna say it. It's when they first look at Merlot.
Yeah.
And they're
For
like,
sure.
oh, okay.
Interesting.
All right, hi, hello.
Yeah.
Because like we've hinted at before, with Merlot's reaction to hearing about the missing cleric, is that clerics have innate connections to each other.
Yes.
So one look at Merlot and Groovy's gonna know.
Yeah, that innate connection to each other is very much a byproduct of the fact that they are kind of directly connected to their hue. And the hues are connected to each other. So through that connection, it's like, oh, there's a divinity about you. You are not divine, but there's a divinity about you.
They're not going to tell Merlot. They're not going to tell Merlot because that's not their journey to make.
Now you're just spoiling the whole page. But yeah, it's Jade is about wisdom, and you can't. Wisdom comes from experience. You can sometimes that wisdom comes from the experience of others, and that can be gifted to you or passed down. But oftentimes, a lot of times, wisdom comes through your own experiences. And for this particular bit of wisdom, Merla's going to need to figure it out herself. So, we thought this through, I swear.
Merla's gonna look at him and be like, "There's something about this fella. I have no idea what, but there's something."
Merla's gonna look at Groovy like Donkey does a trick. Really tall. That's what it's gonna be.
Well, that's his face right there. That's his first reaction there.
Yep.
Upon seeing Groovy. I'm gonna have to go darker on the floor there, just to place it a little better.
Yeah. That looks nice. There it is.
That's Zephyr. Yep.
Love this track so much. Such a good track.
I love Idle Springs is my favorite on this one above all, but Zephyr is an incredibly close second. Just the way the song progresses is what appeals to me. Let me make sure it looks cool. Dialogue, yep, cool. Sick. Actually, I'm gonna lower that one down a little bit. Just a touch. There we go. I get finicky with word bubble tangents. Make sure that they don't overload. Like Like if it was like this and like it was like touching the edge of their hair, and I'd be like, where's it go? Where's it go? What goes?
Just put it back where it was. It's fine.
College iron, like one of the first things I took out of art school was learning how to identify tangents and getting away from them. Favorite D&D class to play? Well, this comic is made up of bards, so you tell me.
I really have done far more DMing than I have actually playing D&D, so I don't have an answer for you. Yeah. Kirby, I think you've got a bad deal on Interpresses. That's so hideously expensive.
Okay. That first panel's done, right? Can I move on?
Yes,
okay.
Please do.
Is it worth it? I think not. Yeah.
Well, not if you waste them like that.
I just realized what he was doing. Oh my god. Goofy Goober. Goofy Goober!
And now we get back to characters.
Now we get back to drawing actual characters.
Now we get back to drawing actual characters. Oh, Linlery. I love Linlery.
Linlery is also another character that was Blue's creation.
I kind of went ham on the family connections for characters. That was kind of my shtick. I had two shticks. One of them was accidentally resolving / making some storylines way more complicated by adding one character, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And then the others were, but what if more family relationships?
I think that they're really important. That's why I felt the reveal of Linlery being Merlot's aunt was important because it's the first actual appearance of a family member we've ever seen, and it's somebody that it's a first reveal for Merlot too. He's never met Linlery, so like we're on the same page as him, which I think is really cool. We've seen his aunt on his mom's side, and we have seen his father, but I think we're gonna
Stop clicking random buttons.
I think we're gonna talk a little more about him in this chapter as well.
Yes, there is going to be a conversation. We're gonna learn a bit more about. I don't know necessarily what happened.
Yeah.
But we are gonna learn a little bit more about that.
About why he hasn't been around.
Yeah. Also, I realize it's a little weird to have Merlot's aunt show up and to have two other characters in the group know her and know her relatively well. However, one, it is a story. Storytelling coincidence is absolutely something that storytellers use on purpose.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the nature of the beast. But also,
it's the nature of Linlery herself.
It's the nature of Linlery herself, who is very much a traveler and not beholden to staying in one place.
Yeah.
And because of that, she knows a lot of people because of all the traveling that she's done.
We already know that she knows Hestia. And here we see her with her best friend Groovy. And we already know that she had. Well, we know that she knew Nocturne, obviously, because she recognized him. But we also saw the flashback where she was delivering him to Hestia. Seeing Merlot meeting more relatives is always great. Yeah, showing that he's not alone in the world that he thought he was. At the beginning of this comic. I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
I don't remember.
Oh no! Fuck! I'm the worst.
Yeah, I am a sucker for family stories in general and for connections.
Yes.
For connections. So in a story like this, where you do have a relatively small world that you're working with.
Yeah, one continent.
Yeah, you have one continent. It's a fairly small continent. I mean, we're working off of, standard high fantasy travel times here. But it's relatively small. Like, it's not humongo giant.
No.
But, yeah, there is a lot that we can actually do here with going, oh, you guys have more connections than you know about. And I think that works in really well with the theming of the overall story, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, these characters they do have a lot more in common with each other than they think they do, down to, like, the people that they've interacted with and that they're close to. But I kind of think that's part of the whole theme of the story, of this togetherness.
Yeah.
And found family that we have going on.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I like the characters I made, so it's fine.
Found it neat that Nocturne was still getting used to people remembering him. Yep.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
And with characters, I will say this, I will not say why, but there is a very, very specific reason that Linlery, in particular, remembers him.
Yep. And
like, it is not a coincidence. It will be addressed in the comic.
Yes. In this chapter, actually.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Actually, fairly soon, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of the scenes we're going to get to, just writing
in the
it
script,
out
yeah.
this week, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotta parse my insane palette over here. Figure out what's what.
Yeah, your palette is kind of nuts.
It's a miracle I can decipher it every time I open this program.
Excuse me.
You good?
Yep. Oh, we're gonna have to give Linlery different outfits in the future.
Yes.
Because this is very much
A traveling.
Traveling and a Dermista outfit in particular.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna have to give her some other ones.
Oh yeah.
To suit the places that she's going to, but still mark her as what she is.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Always loved researching. Trying to branch out the fashion choices, you know? That's always a challenge.
This song has the weird stuff in the background.
Yeah, this is the magma cone.
This is the weird one. I know it's magma cone. It's the one with the weird stuff. Whatever that is.
Volcano gods.
I guess.
Nope, that's her boots. Her wrist things are the darker brown. Okay. I'll put the white stripes in the background, and then I can have Felix be in the foreground. These three will be these two will be mid-ground. These two will be background. Okay,
right.
Got it.
Wait, Felix, you just mean like the top of Felix's head.
Yes. Yeah, having characters with different heights has made for interesting panel compositions. However, with Felix, like it
adds to the humor.
They telegraph and they telegraph their emotions pretty easily, except in important moments.
Which
so it's like
very telling.
Yeah. So them just being here like, whoa. Like that's all we need. That's all we need.
You do not need more than that, yeah.
Because this is their first meeting of this super duper tall, crazy tall person.
Yeah,
which
you
I
could
can
fit like at least 7 Felixes inside a Groovy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Linlery and Felix having a history is a fairly recent addition to Linlery existed for quite a while before we came up with that, and I think it was my idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense from a location standpoint, but from a character standpoint, I felt like
he's on the wrong layer.
Ah, gotcha.
I just gotta.
From a character standpoint, I felt that it was very important for Felix to be able to show that they can respect people, and they can have connections to authority figures that are good.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen that yet. We've mostly seen Felix being a little shit.
Yep.
And this understanding that there is far more to Felix than just that.
Yeah.
We are starting to pull back some of the layers and the walls surrounding Felix, and this felt like a really good way to continue to do that. Just a little bit by bit, piece by piece.
They do, so technically this means they have 2 mentors, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I thought about putting blushes here, like even Groovy would make her go ooh hot, but she's strictly lesbian, so I don't think it worked. She had a bit of little blushing around Lindlery, but then she was like, "Oh, that's Merlot's aunt." So no.
I really need to not do this.
Nope.
Can we give the fun fact about Phoebe and Lindlery?
Yeah.
So, fun fact, Lindlery was absolutely Phoebe's gay awakening. Lindlery has no idea. Just so you know. Like, absolutely no idea. But you know, like, when you're a teenager and you're watching a show or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, it was that for Phoebe. Lindlery, no clue. No idea. Absolutely no clue. But, yes.
A new character for one shot on Saturday starting. Oh yeah, that's the system she was talking about.
Okay.
Fabula Ultima.
Interesting. Combat figure skater. All right.
Nice.
I've always liked Phoebe's earrings.
Diana's earrings?
Sorry, yes,
Yeah.
Diana. God, my brain.
We're getting close to the end. When we finish this page, we'll end stream.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of anything else I want to draw right now. Well, I have stuff on my list. Including Kirby's monthly sketch. Which I will get to. But I should probably spend the rest of the day doing this sketch page instead. But I will get to Kirby's sketch. I always do. Except when I forget. There was a period where I had to catch up on like 4 months worth, and I felt really bad. But he was very understanding. Where my job is to pay my... Oh.
Yeah, I enjoy making connections between characters.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And people are like, whoa, that's a big old coincidence. It's like coincidences happen in real life, you guys.
And storytelling coincidences do happen more often.
And they're allowed. It's okay. Like,
it's also less work
mm-hmm.
as a storyteller. If you can connect things and tie them together, it can make everything feel very small. I hope we've gotten around that. I hope we haven't had that issue.
I mean, because there's a lot of characters.
Yeah.
I think that's how we get around that issue, because there's so our main cast, we have an ensemble cast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that makes it much easier to not feel like we're limiting to a small pool. Because Lindlery knows 3 of these people. Well, she's met Merlot. She knows 2 other people. Sven and Diana, this is the first time that they've ever interacted. So it's not like...
And it's also fair to say that Sven and Diana have been the most removed from the mainland of Prismal.
Yeah, because they are from outside of Prismal.
Yeah, they're from outside of Prismal. They're from other places, so they have far less in common with everything else.
Mm-hmm. And they're learning alongside us.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be detailed with these hands.
No, you do not. It's very simple.
This is a small panel. What matters is their reaction and faces. I keep thinking about how I have to recut the video, and I get mad about it.
Don't think about it then.
I'm trying not to, but then I look at the clock and then I go, oh.
Stop doing that. Just draw a stunned bunny Merlot and it'll be fine.
Did you say stun bunny?
Yes.
Okay, alright. Just making sure I heard you.
That's exactly what I said. And I meant it.
Wait. Okay, just making sure they're looking all in the same direction. Which, you know, you don't think it would matter, but the placement against this side of the eye does matter. Is there anything else that you want to cover while we're here? I'm on the last panel, so.
Specifically, not that I can think of.
Yeah, that's the peril of webcomics, is that it takes for fucking ever because it's so much work. Trust me, if I could churn these out more, we had entertained the thought of going to 3 updates a week, and then I looked at the potential workload, and I almost started crying. And
So we're not doing that.
But yeah, if I could dedicate more time to this webcomic, then absolutely. But to make it go faster, story-wise, like progress faster. But
not right now, certainly.
no, that's the nature of. All right, see you later, Ray. Have a good one. Okay. Why do I feel like his ear is too small?
The way you've drawn it is very small.
Yeah.
Those ears needs to be longer.
Yep. Alright, that makes more sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, instant
Yes, but
upgrade.
is the line too thick? Maybe.
Especially on the bottom now.
Yeah.
I think that's better.
Yeah, I think so too. That looks a lot more in line with.
The rest of the yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look fully like.
What's the hardest part for you when making a character? Mine is picking a name. I don't have a problem with that because I use behindthename.com. Behindthename.com is a big help for me.
But you're specifically looking for meanings and stuff. Names are hard. Names are hard, man. Setting depends too.
Yeah. What's been tricky for me is working with Cuisinomancer and picking names that I can make into food nicknames. So I'm a little more specific there. But I think for me, it's figuring out what their sense of style is. Because like with the main cast here, they're all very different from each other, even just clothing-wise. Like, you've got Merlot with the traditional fantasy look. Then you've got Diana with the Moors look. Nocturne takes on Victorian. Sven is very Slavic, Nordic, and Felix is Polish. So I
And
think,
you have to add the flare to it.
yeah. And do your research, and I think this is another track that, yeah, it goes on for a while. Whoop.
What did you do?
What did I do?
I don't know.
Why did that... Oh, I zoomed in, I think. Wait, why did it... Uh-oh. What the fuck? What did I do in OBS?
I don't know. What did you do in OBS?
I don't understand. Oh, okay, wait. No. Scale to window. Thank you. Whew. I don't think the stream itself changed. I think my view changed.
Ah.
I think I bumped a button over here, and OBS went, "Oh, you wanted 100% view." Or problem is, I want to keep it simple, but also yeah, that can be a tricky thing to do, and that's the same thing for webcomics too. Is like, design wise, like, yeah, like their design sheets with their costumes are much more elaborate than how they look in the comic, because just the nature of I have to draw this character a million times, so I need to omit certain details so I don't lose my mind when I draw them over and over.
Yeah. Part of kind of creating characters for Nutty to do is that I'm like, I have an idea, and then I have to kind of try to figure out like some kind of visualization, and 9 times out of 10 I'm just like, I have given you a headshot. Do something with this.
Like, let me see what I can do. Let me see what I
like,
can
you've
do.
given me nothing, and I'm like, I know.
It's like, let me see what I can do with this. Let me see. Wait. Nope, wrong purple. It's this purple. No, it doesn't look like very different, but I swear it is. Pretty sure it is. No, what? Hey, that's a different purple. How did that happen? Did I replace it? No, it's that one. Okay. Oh no, I was using the purple from her pansy. That's why it looked off. Okay. No, I'm fine. I figured it out. Everything's fine. Nothing is ruined. I promise.
You say it like that, I doubt you.
Yeah, I'd like a cushion. I don't know what you already... I don't know, but you probably already know. Oh, yeah, yes, it sounds like his commission... Yeah. No, your Curbs, your commissions sound like, I want you to draw 103 triangles. I'm picking on you.
I'm not picking on you if that's a thing that actually happened.
That stream was so fun. I was so shot mentally at the end of that stream, but it was so much fun. I know it was nonsense. I know it was chaos. God, it was good. I know. Like, fuck it. Watch.
It's also on the
There. Now we're gonna lock that and do his hair, his brand, which is very important.
Yeah, it is kind of it matters.
It matters a lot.
It didn't show up in the dream sequence, and the entire comment section lost their minds.
I know, right? They're like, why doesn't he have it? Why doesn't he have it? And he's like, well, he didn't get it in that dream. The dream was stopped before he could be branded in it. Wait, is that top? I'm trying to remember if that top one is red or purple. I think it's red. I think it's the red that matches this. Not like it matters, but... Really? Really, Clip Studio Paint? You're gonna be a brat? You're gonna be a brat? Okay, that's the cape, okay.
I always forget how bright these colors are, and then you put them down, and I'm like, oh god.
You told me they should be bright.
I know I did.
For
You're
this
right.
one.
No, it's on me. I know this, but I'm still like, oh my god.
Well, they're very bright on this monitor, especially.
Yeah.
This was the monitor that my folks gifted to me.
That's nice.
That was, I think they did their research and went for one that was specifically geared towards color. And because I'm like, yeah, no, that makes sense because this is the monitor I'm going to draw on.
It's a good monitor.
It is. It doesn't have, I learned the other day that it does not have sound capabilities, but that's because it's focused on the graphics. Okay. Yeah, the rest of his book.
Question.
What's that?
Doesn't the headband go underneath the braid?
Yeah, wait. What do you mean?
Am I wrong?
Hold on, let's look it up.
Yes.
Oh, I need to change this direction on this side. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, that fixes the problem. Yeah. See, like, there's even details here in this cloak that event
That are not being drawn in the comic.
all the time, yeah. Although, you know, this outfit is take 2 on Merlot's Tracy outfit. His other one was so incoherent. I wonder if I have it on hand.
You kind of tend to save everything.
I do. There it is. Yep. There it is. Look at how nonsense this outfit is.
This kind of reminds me. This is like magical girl nonsense. Honestly,
this is.
I
saw a bunch of.
Elf.
This is. This is. I saw a bunch of ideas and I put them together and they did not go together whatsoever.
Those shoes.
Fucking yeah, Christmas elf shoes. He looks like a reverse Christmas tree.
He kind of does.
This once I figured out, travel kilt.
Yes.
Cloak. There we go. Now we're cooking with
now
grease.
It looks like someone who's actually doing things.
Oi, Kaloi. All right, just nocturne. Just nocturne and spend in the back, and then shading, and then we're done.
Yep. Well, and color for the background, but
well, yeah, easy peasy.
that's basically nothing.
We're focused on them, so we're not going to worry about a big old background.
Yeah. One of the art things that I've noticed, just like if you go back and reread, the ears have gotten bigger.
Everything's gotten bigger. That's what.
The ears and the hair. The ears and the hair.
That's what freaking happens with my art style. I get comfortable with drawing something, and then I accentuate their features bigger and bigger and bigger. I exaggerate them more and more.
As long as it doesn't get clownish.
No. Hell, this chapter, his sideburns have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Oh my god, really? You fucking brat. Thank you.
Still wants fun with the full Viking beard. It's like, wow.
I mean, it's inevitable.
It is. It's just kind of where his character arc is going to lead him.
Viking beard equals character development.
I mean, it's fun. Come on.
Oops. How's chat doing? Y'all there?
Chat has given up on us.
It happens sometimes. Sometimes everybody just vibes and no one has something to say. It happens during art streams sometimes. It's no big deal. I just like to check in. I'm partly there. Yeah, I know. I know you're busy, Curbs. But I've had fun with this stream. Have you had fun with this stream?
Me or chat?
All of the above.
Hmm.
Or just
Nice.
lurk for the vibes. That's fair, yeah.
It's been nice.
Good. Vibes for lurking is definitely loved and appreciated. Or lurking for vibes, Jesus Christ.
Vibes for lurking.
Stop!
No.
No! I'll never escape this scrutiny.
It is
That's
our God's given right to make us to mock you mercilessly.
I love you guys too, I
You
guess.
did kind of ask for it.
You chose us for this purpose specifically.
Even if you didn't, you're the one who lets us keep doing it.
This is true. I'm the one who keeps enabling it. Nope, too thick.
I love it when you can just be like, guess what? I have technology. Straight line.
Yeah, it's so helpful.
Solves problems.
Bro, I was trying to figure out GIMP, and like I couldn't even do something as simple as that. It was the most unintuitive art program I've ever had the displeasure of
But
downloading and
it's
opening.
free.
It is free, but I uninstalled it because I said fuck it.
That's fair.
No.
The free one that I have on occasion been known to use is Fire Alpaca, but like I'm so bad at like remembering, like getting everything set up to even try, so I never do it.
I used GIMP back in the day, Lamau. I don't know either. I couldn't figure out the move tool. I just wanted to, guys. You know how in my intro, in my summer starting screen, how they're floating up and down. I struggled just to do that, and then trying to render out the damn thing without every single frame rendering out all at once. I was like, what the fuck is going on with this program?
I appreciate the fact that Sven has a hood. I also appreciate the fact that his whole outfit is reminiscent of a clownfish.
That was
That
your
was my
idea.
idea.
That was your
Yes, and
completely
I
your idea
appreciate
because
it.
I was stuck on Sven's outfit. I did not know what to do for it, and then you were like, well, and then I think I was talking about the design of the Tracy being very much like
Like a
drawing
coral.
inspiration from coral reefs.
Yeah.
And then you were like,
Make him a
clownfish, and I'm like, all right.
Like bet, and I think the reason I said clownfish specifically is because the orange, because it matched the orange color
Yes, yes. So sea curbs, that's just how I roll. Someone gives me a silly idea and I go bet and I make it work.
scheme. To be fair to me, you had already come up with this silly idea of I want this place to be like a reef, and I was like, all right, if that's the scheme we're going with, this is the logical result. Kim, it's not real, it can't hurt you.
It's so real. I loved using the sparkle brush they had. Yeah, but I have all these sparkle brushes here.
Yeah, so we're getting close to the end of stream, so if anyone
Yes.
else has any comic related things, now
Questions, yes.
Yeah, now would be the time to bring it up.
And if you forget and you come up with one later, that we always have the Merlot Protection Squad channel.
Merlot Protection Squad.
Yeah. I think that channel name came about because we had like a high school we were talking about a high school AU, and like I think in the AU Merlot like went to a different high school from everyone else, but he was still super popular at that particular high school, and so like the whole court was like protect Merlot.
This is before my time.
This was before you joined, yes.
Yeah.
That was where the Merlot Protection Squad thing came from. Is there a character that even after this long drawing them, you still get excited to draw? Felix.
Because Felix has the most fun facial
Felix is
expressions.
because Felix, I can have so much fun with their facial expressions. I can go hog wild on them. And the other one now that I'm going to be excited to draw all the time now is Groovy here. even if they've got many parts to them.
Groovy's also only going to be in, like, Groovy is an important side character, but Groovy is not joining the main cast.
No.
I think we all know that.
No. Because, as we said before, they are bound to the Treacy.
Yeah.
Very girl for that. Ignoring it make my life easier, mixing. Yeah. I swear Nocturne's embroidery is like way more detailed than I like.
You give it very detailed things and then you give up.
Yep. Because realistically, I can't replicate it in every single panel that he's in.
Kind of get the idea.
Mm-hmm. Give the impression. And if someone wants to do fan art and make it a little more elaborate, then I'm like, cool, go for it. Wait. Oh, jeepers. Yep. Yep.
Hello.
Hi, I'm gonna turn that down a little bit, just until the raid message is done. 30 seconds. It's the whole sound file for this song from Utopia. The dragons ever rise. Thank you for that shout out. Thank you, Dark Dragon Master. How was your stream? You were playing more Xenoblade Chronicles. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for hopping on in. How you guys doing? Alright, turn that back up a little bit. Sorry, that's I can't turn that one off.
That's alright.
For being this long, Nutty has no self-control. Alright. We're working on a comic page. We've had a Q&A with my co-writer today. And we've had a good time, I feel. Despite all things. By which I mean the stream breaking because our internet went down.
Yeah, that was fun.
Granted, I'm gonna look, but I think the VOD on Twitch will still be the same because I do have a disconnect protection that lasts for 90 seconds. So if you reconnect within 90 seconds, it still stays as one VOD on Twitch.
Interesting.
But I still have to connect them for the Twitch upload. I mean, for the YouTube upload. We beat the final boss and now we're in new story. Ooh! How's the art going? Oops. The art's going great.
As you just make a coloring mistake.
As I just make the coloring mistake. Yeah, no, I finished this big panel.
It's our Vogue magazine cover.
Our Vogue magazine reveal of the new character who's going to show up all the way in September, which is hype.
This is what happens when you take a break for 2 months.
Yep. But it's been fun. I've had a great time. Always have a great time hanging out. What?
The red is blinding.
I know.
I know why it is. It's not a judgment call. It's just, oh god, my eyes.
Yeah.
We're not prepared.
Once we shade it, it'll be a little nicer.
It'll be better then, yeah.
And add in the background color and everything.
Is particular pants called Yodfurs, or am I incorrect?
They might be. They're Nocturne's current outfit.
It's like a riding outfit.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Like a pirate coat.
Yes. All right. But thank you for popping in, Dark. I appreciate you. I hope your Xenoblade stream went well. And if you got a dash, that's cool too. If you gotta take care of your corporeal form, I appreciate you bringing your community over to us and our hot nonsense.
It is kind of hot nonsense, this is true.
Alright. We're at the point where I can turn off my sketch layer because it's just the background on the final panel.
And all it is color.
Whee!
That's nice.
Yep. Oh, and then I gotta do the light bubbles,
Yep.
which will, yeah.
There we go. That's a shading, right?
Yep. Including the little bubbles. Make sure they don't cover important parts of the people. But just enough so that they're on top of people and integrated into the scene, you know?
Yes.
And then what do you think? A walk after this once I get my
I need to move for sure.
once I get the
I at least need to
I have to
get out of the chair.
I have to splice the videos together, so that's a process, and then I have to upload it to YouTube.
That sounds like work.
Yep, it is work.
Gross.
Post that's what post streams are. And when there's clips, I have to review the clips and feature the ones that I like.
Do we have clips for this one?
I don't know. I'll have to check the creator thing. If there's anything particularly funny that we said during the art
Probably
stream.
were not that interesting this time.
There aren't our art streams by default don't get very many clips unless I say something particularly funny, or if I do something on my kid.
That's a good conversation.
I think my favorite clip on an art stream was when everybody was being naughty, and I was like, I will turn this stream around, and I started and I held down the undo button, and all my stuff was
all your stuff was going away.
Yeah,
That is
I
funny.
think that's my best.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I think our crowning moments were more like big, long discussions
Mm-hmm.
in this one, and I think we had some pretty good ones. Stream will correct me if I'm wrong. If we totally screwed this up, Stream will, like, probably send a hitman.
At least Curbs will.
Curbs will send a hitman.
Yeah. How many times he said he's gonna send me a pipe bomb of glitter?
Oh,
Funniest part of that clip was when you started panicking trying to get it back. Yeah. I was like, uh-oh, if I touch my canvas, then all that work is gone. Oh no. That would have been really committing to the bit. You gotta realize with streaming that sometimes you just commit to a bit and you do something goofy just for the sake of the funny.
okay.
And that's when you know that's entertainment factoring
That's
in.
entertainment.
I think undoing all of your work is a little more than committing to the bit, though.
Well, then I didn't actually. I hit redo and then everything was fine.
Well, yes, but
I do like the green shade.
Yeah. One of the first critiques I got from Spider Forest was not shading with dark colors all the time.
Okay.
It was they were a big part of me coming into my own, figuring out how coloring works.
Very cool.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if anybody has a webcomic in this chat, they are accepting.
Yes,
they're
Spider
accepting
Forest,
applications right now. Yep.
I got real lucky because I came in as co-writer after Nutty had already been accepted into Spider Force, so it was just like, hey
And
guys.
And I got rejected my first time. I think it chalked up. It happens frequently. Where they were like, your comic needs more time. I think I submitted around the time during the Bardic Festival.
Yeah.
And then I resubmitted again. I'm trying to remember. I think the first page that went up on the...
Isn't the big Bardic Festival crowd shot a direct
No,
result
you're
of-
right. Yes, because another one of their critiques was I need to work on my crowd shots. Or like making not making background characters just be blobs of color.
Right.
So I submitted during the first act of song. And then I resubmitted during the third act of song. So the first page that went up was one of the grave crypt scene pages.
Okay.
I'm remembering that.
All right. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Because at that point, I showed that I can
Take feedback.
I can take feedback and apply it.
And apply it.
And the comic had a little more time to show off the characters and the tone of the story. So yeah, I got accepted on my second try.
Yeah. And I came in after all that.
Yeah. I was like, hey, I'm adding a co-writer. Can we add her to the roster?
Yep,
And they're
so
like, yeah.
It was I cheated and I did not have to go through the application process.
We spilled over into Spyro 3. That's alright.
That's alright. Spyro 3 also has good music.
It does. It's a different flavor.
Yes.
All
it's
of
a
the
different story, so it
yeah,
should be.
all of the soundtracks they're by the same person, but they all sound unique to each other.
They should.
I think the first just for vibes alone, I think the first soundtrack is my favorite.
That's fair.
Just because I think the vibes are just very like ultra whimsical in the first one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Make sure this panel all makes sense. I think it does. Are we finished?
I think so.
I think so.
Looks good to me.
All right.
Marvelous.
Hell yeah.
Remember to save.
Yes. Nobody redeemed Control S today. What would you guys have done if I didn't save at all today?
Cry.
Yeah, I would. Alright, I'm gonna. Well, I'll worry about rendering everything out once we raid out. And...
Yep.
All right. It's comedy.
Not from this end of things.
So yeah, this page will be going up in September. Yarr.
You'll have something to look forward to, though. 'Cause look at that groovy shot. Oh my gosh.
I love them so much. I've been waiting for this baby to show up so much.
The new face looks a lot better on them too.
Yeah. Very much so.
Sometimes you get right up to the nth hour and they go, oh yeah, that's not gonna work.
Mm-hmm. That's been my strategy lately with new character reveals. It's just like, oh, they're here. Now I have to actually solidify this. Fuck. I was hoping to keep the combos longer, but you two. No, no. I think this was a pretty successful
we did
Q&A.
pretty
I think
well.
we covered a lot with the
I think we
comic.
did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone has any more questions, obviously the Discord is always open.
Yep.
You're welcome to ramble in the comments of the comic as long as you keep it appropriate too. So you know, there's avenues. Glad you had a good time, Kurt. I hope everyone else had a good time too. It was chill. This is longer than I'm used to being on. Granted, I don't go on stream hardly ever, but I don't do it for very long. So I'm glad this one was longer than I was anticipating. I'm not sure why I was anticipating it being shorter, just because I have bad sense of time management, I guess.
This is a standard art stream, yeah.
But it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice.
Good. I think we're gonna raid Adamke because we haven't raided them in a while. I try to raid fellow artists after art streams.
That makes sense.
And if I can't find someone here, I look for a new one.
Oh, sounds like a good plan.
Yep. All right, we're gonna go ahead and raid Odom here, and then tomorrow is gonna be our Metroid Prime stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll finish that up.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be funnier than this stream.
Yeah.
Is my experience. I think our
Yeah.
Metroid Prime streams
No,
went
our
pretty well
streams,
last year.
art streams are for vibes, strictly
Art streams
vibes.
are for vibes and apparently long conversations about the nature of fantasy fiction.
Yes.
So,
Alrighty.
all right.
I will see you. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Have a wonderful day, guys.
Bye.